Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Uncensored Anime Podcast. This is episode 9, and today we have a mega super episode for you all. Today, we are talking about the fall 2020 anime lineup, or at least 13 of the shows that we picked, along with Burn the Witch. We have a lot to get through today, so let's just hop right to it. So, Jerry, take it away.
Boys, we have a special episode. Like David said, this is probably the most entry-friendly episode we've ever done. Every other show, we review a show in its entirety, but on tonight's podcast, we are just going to be talking about the first episode of 13 brand new series. And to kind of give you some knowledge about how we pick these shows, we're not talking about shows like Yashahime, which came out this season. It's a continuation of Inuyasha, right? We're not talking about shows like, what is it? Pick Up Cosmo Dungeon. Yeah. You know, shows that are continuations or season 2s or season 3s. We've skipped over those shows. We're not messing with those this time around. We're talking about 13 brand new series. So these are adapted from multiple sources. Some of them come from light novels. Some of them come from manga. Some of them are adaptations of... some of them are original anime, right? Anime that's had no other adaptation to it. So we've got a lot of different anime that came out this season. It's fall 2020. We are excited, right, boys? I don't know about y'all. Yeah. This is probably the most hype I've been about doing an episode, just because we get to talk about so much in one episode. We're going to be talking about a lot of freaking anime and trying to go through this content for you all, because we want you guys to know after this episode, you know, what shows do you want to start, or what shows are you interested in giving another shot, and to also just get our first impressions, because I think that we learned, and now, boys, you might agree or disagree, but I think I learned that the reason why I only watch like 1 or 2 shows every season is because like a lot of trash comes out every season. There's like a lot of trash that you have to watch. Like,
and we didn't even pick like some shows like
we like intentionally avoided
trash.
Yeah, we like intentionally avoided. We picked the 13 what I would consider the most interesting shows. These were the ones that actually had like something there that I was like, okay, yeah, the boys might enjoy this. We might enjoy this, and I still was. Yeah, so for tonight's episode, David mentioned it. We're going to finally talk about Burn the Witch. We've been talking about the manga for a while.
Burn the Witch.
We've been talking about this, and the anime movie finally dropped. We were going to talk about it last week, but we've delayed it to this week. All of us have now watched the anime film, so we are going to have a full review of that in this episode before we get into our 13 shows. And then when we get into our 13 shows, we are going to do an interesting ranking system. So just to prep you for later, for each show, we're going to all three give it a either thumbs up, which means we definitely want to keep watching that show, a thumb sideways, which means that we might be willing to give that show a couple more episodes, right? We might give it an episode 2 or an episode 3, and then a thumbs down, which means this episode made me go, I'm out. I'm not watching this anymore. I can't watch another episode. Yeah, the no thanks ranking. So that's no thanks.
So real quick, something I forgot to mention in the intro. For those that are listening for the first time, on the Uncensored Anime Podcast, we are 3 friends. I am David, we have Jerry, and we have Kenny, and we provide uncensored takes for the anime that we show. Typically, we discuss animes that are, finished seasons or finished series, and we'll give reviews and just talk about what we just say whatever comes to our mind, or just, anything that comes out of our mouth, we just say. Today's the special, like Jerry said, because we're just going over strictly the first episode of these 13 shows that we selected. And when we talk about Burn the Witch, we'll give an actual, review, just what we think, and we'll give that an actual rating that we typically do, which is 1 to 10. But yeah, I'm super excited for whenever we get to talk about these 13 shows. Yeah. A lot of okay ones, some that were pretty good.
Yeah, a couple that I'm interested to see more of.
Yeah. Like Iwa-Kakeru.
No.
All
right. Okay,
all right,
so
we'll get to it.
Let's do it. Let's talk about this Burn the Witch. I mean, we've been on this for weeks now. Kenny, can you give the viewers at home a synopsis of Burn the Witch? What the hell is Burn the Witch?
Burn the Witch.
Why do we keep talking about it?
Burn the Witch is done. It's written and drawn by this little-known manga author. His name's Tite Kubo. He, I think, made Bleach. Have you ever, or Zombie Powder? You ever heard of that one?
Yeah.
No, it's done by the guy who made Bleach. Who I would say is one of the best manga artists there is out there. And Burn the Witch is about.
And let's qualify. when Kenny says artist, he means artist, not manga author, but manga artist.
Best manga artist. It's about, so our story follows a couple of girls who work for the Piper organization in London. Now in London, there's London and then there's reverse London, where these dragons roam. And the Piper organization sort of tamed these dragons, or it seems like they might cull them. And we're introduced to a couple of different facets of this organization in the movie. But the main ones that we meet and what the girls are they're Pipers, and they just tame and look after dragons. And one of their friends, Balgo, it becomes a dragonclad, which is under normal circumstances, people aren't allowed to interact with dragons, but he is a special circumstance. And so it's sort of this sort of lays the groundwork, I think, to a real show. And we're introduced to some different plot points that I think are intended to expand. And let me just go ahead and start by saying, fuck you, Kubo. Obviously, this is not a one-off. Like, this is not some bullshit. You're playing. If anybody thought this was just a one-off movie, if anybody expected him to just do a couple one-shots and that's it, it's not, man. All those character designs, all the different branches of the Piper organization, Soul Society West branch. This man Kubo is playing. Okay,
hella teasing.
And let me tell you right now, them character designs, fucking fire. So well done. Well done. Kubo. Every character that we got introduced to was cool and interesting. And I love the way that they do the names under them in that scene where they go around the table and their names are all in sort of different fun
Classic
fonts.
Kubo.
Classic fucking Kubo. We got introduced to the 13 Court Guard squad captains.
Yeah, honestly, I thought that was it. When I was like, oh dang, these is literally like the captains of the Soul Society. I think what's interesting about Burn the Witch, right? So it started as a one-shot manga that he wrote in 2018, so about 2 years ago, and all of us read and enjoyed that when it came out. And then earlier this year, it was announced, or maybe it was late last year, it was announced that he was coming back. He was going to write 4 more chapters. He was excited to put some more story on it. And then it was quickly announced that they were making this anime movie, and we didn't really know what the context was. Was it going to be the content of the new chapters? Was it going to be the one-shot? What were they actually animating?
Just keep going.
And it turns out now that we know, obviously now that the movie's out, it does adapt the new chapters, right? It didn't adapt the OVA or the one shot. It actually adapted the 4 chapters that Kubo came out with earlier this year. I have not read those 4 chapters yet, so I've only read the one shot.
Oh,
I just know that
I didn't know there was a one shot back then.
Okay, so you read the 4 chapters, right?
Yeah, I've only read the newest chapters that the movie's based on.
It does coincide with the movie, right? Kenny?
Yeah.
So the initial one shot is not included in the story.
Yeah.
Balgo becoming a dragonclad.
That's all I had ever read, Kenny. I'd only read the one shot. I didn't read 20 chapters yet.
Right. The 4 chapters are what the movie is.
Right. So the movie and the 4 chapters both pick up pretty quickly following the one shot. So if you've read the one shot, you can actually jump right into the movie and you'll pretty much, you will understand 100% what's going on because that's how it's written. If you haven't read the one shot, you can probably still watch the movie. I don't think it was that confusing if you had never read the one shot. I don't think that's necessary information. But it might be interesting to you because it tells the story of how Balgo became a dragonclad. That's all it tells. The one shot tells that story. So if you're interested in that, you might want to go back and read it if you watch the anime, because they just seem to skip over it. I don't know why they didn't include it in the film, but it would have made sense to me to put it in, but I don't know because the movie was only a little over an hour long. It wasn't that long.
Yeah, it was just 3 episodes basically.
Yeah, 3 episodes.
I think that they sort of glossed over the information that we got from it. It's not a lot of information that happens. I think that a lot of what goes on in the one shot is just fun drawings, if we're being totally honest.
Right.
And we're introduced to a handful of characters.
Yeah, but all those characters are reintroduced essentially. I mean, their captain, Nini and Noel, Balgo, Osushi, and then that's pretty much all you had in the one shot. And then the new ones introduced the rest of the, what are they called? The head of whatever, the Piper organization. Those guys, and then you also get introduced to the main female that ends up having the Cinderella dragon. I can't think of her name either, Marnie or something maybe.
Something like that.
M, right? I don't know. I think it was something.
It's something with M, like Mary or something like that.
I watched it 20 minutes before we started recording this. So I'm like,
Oh
I
my
pulled a David
God.
this week on Burn.
Pulled me, still forgot
I
names.
was like, oh
Yeah.
my God, and I still forgot the names. But yeah, David, what did you think? So you read the one shot or you didn't read the one shot. You read the 4 chapters, then you watched the anime film. What did you feel about the film? What do you think? How do you think?
So I'm a Tite Kubo fucking fanboy. Right. So seeing anything of
Macy,
Macy. So seeing anything reminiscent of his art, I'm like obsessed with. So right off the bat, seeing, you know, I think like one of the first scenes that you see Nini like walk through an alleyway and there's like paparazzi following her, and it's like all like classic like Kubo design. I'm just sucked in right off the bat.
And Nini is the Ichigo, right? She's the Ichigo.
She's female Ichigo, basically.
Yeah.
That's also she's a pop idol.
Yeah, and he sort of swapped the designs and hair colors too, because like she's blonde and small like Rukia was, instead of being black haired.
Yeah.
And so I think that's interesting, you know.
Yeah.
And I love that Balgo is exactly like Orihime is, if that makes sense.
He swapped it to where his females are now the prominent leads, and he turned the male character into like the doubting simp. Like that's literally what Balgo is. Like he's Noelle's little fucking
like the damsel, basically always needing to be saved.
Right.
What was the fucking sword? This is what's pissing me off. Okay, he's leaving all these like, oh, there's 6 other, you know, ancient dragons that exist, and here are all.
Yeah.
What's the dude with the hair? They're the like sword organization, and I'm like, what's going on? And
there's so many like sprinkles that this is obviously going to be a show.
Saber, yeah. And that's what Nini wants to be.
Nini would like to move up to being a saber from being
what
is she called?
Soul Society West Branch Sabers. What do we think? What are we thinking?
It's going to be a show.
They got Zanpakutos.
Well,
maybe Shikais and Bankais.
It's already been confirmed. And my assumption, though, Kenny, is that the weapons that Nini and Noelle, Alyssa and I were just talking about this. Do you think maybe the weapons Nini and Noelle have, the little gun things, are sort of their like, the West Branches like that's what they use. Right. I mean, like, you see in the films that they're using it, and in the manga that they're using those to cleanse dragons or to like eliminate in the same way that like Zanpakutos were used to cleanse hollows. So I'm trying to decide if maybe that's Kubo saying like, oh, you know, in Japan, Soul Society uses katanas, but in the UK, obviously they use guns.
Right.
You know, like,
it's
maybe that's
kind of like it's like combined of like their swords of Zanpakuto. It's like a combination of Zanpakutos and the Hados that Soul Society has.
And I mean, how do the ink works work? Like that was one. That's a cool system. Like,
I was trying to decide what that was. He drew it on his dragon's wing and shit, and like drew it in the middle of the air, and like that was a very interesting, like kind of random, unexplained magic use in the game.
I'm scared Kubo's doing the Kubo thing where he just like introduces a ton of bullshit. Where he's like, Chad's arm is hollow powered.
Yeah, did you catch that the director who at the end, you know, he shot the blast through Cinderella's head. Someone offhandedly mentioned like he's the son of a hero or something, some sort of ancient hero. I was like, God damn it! I was like, there's so many layers that he introduced in this.
Yeah,
he clearly has a lot going on in his head about this show.
That guy's the Urahara, so you know,
100%.
I'm scared that it's like he's introducing all these things and we're talking about them and they like sound super cool, but if this like becomes serialized and like the story plays out, it like doesn't make sense and it's like classic Kubo.
He'll forget. I just want to know.
Or he'll forget pulling Araki.
Damn it!
Yeah, I bet Araki forgets a lot. Okay.
Oh, David, you know that meme, bro?
Oh, yeah.
In part 4 of JoJo's, who the fuck pushed JoJo's mom out in the hospital? Like whenever she needed to go to the hospital, who pushed her car? It was supposed to be Josuke, right? But we never circle back to that event ever again.
Kenny, why do you remember that?
Hey, because it's one of the.
Let Araki just forget, dude. He's a forgetful guy.
He forgets, man.
All right. So
back to Burn the Witch.
Yeah. So last thing I'll say about Burn the Witch, I think the 3 episodes, it was really entertaining. It basically covered the manga chapters to the T.
Okay.
Yep.
It's going to be a full show. It's going to be a full manga. I don't know if Kubo's taking into account like the bloody war arc that Bleach is going to be getting animated next year. If he's like waiting for that to finish or something.
I bet the manga, if this all goes exactly how I think in my head, the manga will run while the Blood War arc is airing, and then the anime will begin. Yeah, that's what I think.
That's a good idea. Yep.
I bet you're
Especially, I'm happy with Colorado. Studio Colorado did a great job.
What the hell?
Yeah, they
I
did.
noticed. Did you guys notice in the credits though?
What?
There was another studio listed in the credits that I think helped them out a lot.
Who was it?
So I noticed when I was watching the credits each episode, I can't seem to find it online because it seems to be attributed all to Colorado. But if you notice briefly in the credits, Wit is listed as some of the animation credits. So Wit Studio, which is a very impressive anime studio. And so it doesn't surprise me. As I was watching it, I started to notice that Wit's influence was on the anime a little bit. I was like, oh, they've got either even if just some of their team maybe transitioned over and did a little work or some interim animation, you could sense that in the styles. But Jesus Christ, guys, why is Kubo is the most like, he has such a lock on like fashion and like the way people dress. That's
like his power, his superpower. His art. It's like
so fucking cool, just to a T.
So good.
The director, the organization guys, Nini and Noelle's outfits, even though they're supposed to kind of be they're supposed to be kind of like a suit that they wear, but the way that they've adjusted them just slightly to kind of fit their needs, to fit who they are. Just Kubo has thought all of that through with their designs. I mean, Balgo looks so normal, but even he stands out.
Right.
Like he doesn't look like a normal anime character, even though like he is like the base layer. Just still a really good job. And Kubo's superpower as an artist comes in his fashion sense. He's up there with Araki in my mind as like they're just both really fashionable artists, guys. Like, my gosh, dude. I mean, Araki might be a little bit above. Araki is a champ, but.
Yeah,
right.
Araki
also.
You can't compare anybody to Araki.
I also think that people don't walk around wearing shit that people wear in JoJo's. Like Araki, he dresses people in shit they would wear on a runway for sure. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Kubo is so good at putting people in clothes that people would wear and look good in real life.
Yeah, David's actually gonna wear. Yeah, David's gonna wear some clothes from Burn the Witch, dude. Yeah, right, David.
Yeah, I mean,
what?
I would rock it.
Balgo literally, he like just wears like a hoodie and some joggers or something that. And that's it. But it's like it's an off gray that is an attractive look, and I can absolutely see somebody wearing.
I want to say he was wearing like some bracelets and like a little bit of some other adornment to kind of like add some style to it. Yeah, that's such a Kubo thing. Just looks really clean.
Bruno, he was dressed super well, like a cool, and a solid color shirt. Like I don't know. I don't know what it is. Kubo's just so good at this.
Yeah.
Dressing people in outfits that look fucking
good. I mean, you said it too, Kitty. Colorado came through. I think that they made it really look like Kubo's style, which I didn't expect. I thought they were going to flop on that, but they actually came through.
One thing I'll mention about the animation art was that there were periods when it's like, I remember this from the first episode pretty vividly. There was like a scene where it's like on Nini and Noelle, I think Balgo and like another person, they're like on a rooftop, and there isn't any detail on their faces. It's just like shapes, not shapes, but it's just like there's no detail. It's like you're looking from like a distance. It's like I guess trying to give the effect that you're like squinting to see them. But it looked that part looked a little weird. And there were a few moments like that where the direction that they chose was like it was like a tableau of them standing, and it wasn't like a crisp look.
I noticed that too. I'm trying to remember which scene I'm thinking of, David. I think you're right. I caught a little bit of that. There some choppy shots as well. There was a couple shots when there wasn't as much action on screen where it got a little choppy. But I think that, I don't know. I couldn't tell you why that was happening or if that's just a Colorado decision. Yeah, but for the most part, the series, the whole thing looked really on model. It looked really nice all the way through. For the most part. You'd have to really be looking at it with a fine tooth, to catch some of the stuff David and I saw. Like, you'd have to really be like looking at it like we do,
like anal about looking for a bad animation, which I do now. I don't know why.
Yeah, I do it all the time. So that's why I'm like,
also, like all of the dragons are supposed to be based off of fairy tales, but like I could only recognize like 3 of them. Like it was like one was like pretty obviously Snow White and the Seven Dwarves. and then obviously Cinderella. I think one was, but then like I was like,
one was named.
I've never heard of that.
Yeah, they sound Bubbles. Like, what's Bubbles?
Wow, I was like, what?
they sound made up, but I think they're in some way supposed to reference like the 7 princess, like Disney princesses that we're like familiar with. So
maybe Bubbles is the Little Mermaid or something. You know what I mean? Maybe they're like because I assume that they're
Bubbles from like a witch's cauldron or something.
Yeah,
like
it could be anything like that. I think. But yeah, so overall, aesthetically, very pleasing. Film was really well paced. It felt really nice. I'm happy they didn't make it an hour and a half. I think the hour worked to cover the content they had. Yeah, I mean, I think overall it's worth your time. I think if you're a Shonen fan or if you're a Kubo fan, you need to go watch this. I mean, just to be upfront, like you just need to go watch it. We actually didn't spoil it too bad in this review, so if you listen to us first, go check it out. I mean, you're gonna like it.
Yeah.
It's fast paced. It's fun. It's a nice little sit down. There's some cool little quirks about it. Also, there's just two really, really, really hot girls that are the leads. I couldn't just every moment of the film,
Noelle.
every moment I was like, do I like Noelle or do I like Nini? They're both hot.
Hey,
what am I supposed to do
Let me
now?
tell you right now. I'm Team Nini.
Oh,
okay?
Kitty's Team Nini.
I've seen Noelle.
Oh,
I'm
David,
Team Nini.
you
I've
guys.
seen Noelle.
Okay, wait. Okay, so in the manga, tell me guys, because I didn't read it yet. Did they? Okay, so
Yep.
in the one-shot chapter, Kenny, and I know you read the
Yep.
one-shot. There was a specific trait of Noelle's where she was like supposed to be like a weeb, like she was like an Asian person born in the UK, and so she like loved Japanese stuff and anime stuff. Did they remove that? Because it wasn't in the movie at all. Did they remove that from the manga?
I don't think that it was removed. It's just not mentioned again.
Yeah.
Like that's a portion of her personality, but because obviously her last name is Nihashi. Like,
yeah, she's a Japanese girl that was born in the UK, like in London.
Yeah.
And yeah, in the one shot, David, they specifically give her like ringtone on her phone is like the Dragon Ball Z like next time music.
Yeah.
And her like
I think I actually did read the one shot because I'm remembering all this.
Okay.
Because I remember seeing how Bongo became dragonclad. So I guess I did read
You must have read it. Okay,
shot.
so yeah, then so I wanted that to be a part of her personality still in the film, and I was like, oh, did they take it out of the manga? And if Kubo did take it out, that makes sense. I mean, maybe it was a little too on the nose to keep in for their actual serialization, but I thought it was cute, like a cute part of the one shot that she was like kind of a dorky weeb.
I think that in these 4 chapters, Nini was sort of poised to be the main character this time around.
Yeah.
And Noelle was more the main character in the one shot. I don't know if he did that switch intentionally or what, but
he probably
Nini
did.
Nini is sort of framed as the main character with Noelle as also a main character, but more of the Rukia, less of the Ichigo.
Damn.
Right.
And I think that he did that switch. I don't know if that was intentional or if he just wanted to flesh out more of Nini, because we learn about how Nini's a pop idol and she sings or whatever.
We get this whole connection with this girl from Front London, and you get all this other stuff. So very interesting. Okay, boys, what do we think about Burn the Witch, the anime film? Where are we ranking it? David, count us down. Let's give it a shot. Let's see where we're at. What are we thinking? All right.
Okay, I'm hella biased, but okay, I'm ready. Okay. 3, 2, 1.
David went way.
Seven.
David went 8. That's fine.
I went 8.
We're all in the same range, though.
Yeah.
Kenny
I
went
think
7. David went 8.
7 average.
Yeah. He put a lot of plot points in there that it just pisses me off that we're not continuing to see where they're going.
Yeah.
And I think that the climax was kind of lame, if I'm being honest. Like, I was like, okay.
I think that unfortunately he fell into some of his own writing traps, is what it felt like. Kubo likes to write himself into a corner with some of his like emotional moments, and I don't think he knows how to write himself out of it. Yeah. So he was trying to give us this really like touching moment, but then like I was really confused when Cinderella just like got murdered, and then like all of a sudden purple-haired girl is just like, oh look, I'm a dragonclad now too, kawaii desu. And I was like, bitch, you were just crying about that dragon, and he got its head blown off, and Kubo was just like, and I was like, okay, so I just think he doesn't do a great job of like pulling you in the emotional points. The animation was really good. The art was really good. The music was really good. The pacing was really good. Wonderful film to sit down and watch. Really fun movie. Lots of great action. I just think that there's a lot of sprinkling, and we need a little bit more, and we'll get there. Maybe if they make more.
Yeah.
If they make more, I don't know.
When they make more,
hopefully they make an anime show. That's what I'm hoping. An actual show instead of a movie.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm a Tita Kubo simp. So I rated high because all of those little crumbs that, I have a little hope. Maybe all of these will be actually well written out storylines.
And then Ichigo's gonna pop out of the dam.
And then Ichigo's gonna pop out. That's what I'm waiting for. Like the universes are connected to Japan Soul Society. So I just feel it in my bone.
If that happens, dude,
we're gonna be seeing some Orihime Bleach or Orihime Ichigo kids and Rukia Renji kids coming out.
All the Bleach fans would be nutting, dude.
Yeah.
If we get technical, if the British ones are the Pipers, Soul Society is the Japanese, then the Quincy's are German.
Yeah,
because they're the Wonder Right.
That's true. Damn.
I guess.
What if that's part of it?
Let's see. And then the Spanish ones are the Hollows.
Yeah.
Wait, so
Hollows are associated with Spain. Oh shit.
So if Quincy's are infiltrating Japan's Soul Society, it's the same as Germans infiltrating Japan?
Maybe.
That's classic.
Axis power.
That's pretty classic.
That's interesting.
Kubo, actually, he loves history and he loves stuff. He's talked in multiple interviews about his love for history, his love for cultures of the world. I think this is right in line with him. So to hear more, I think he might actually take it. That's Kenny, you're theorizing, but he could take it that direction for sure.
Yeah,
I think we could see a Shinigami and a Quincy and a Hollow introduced in the Burn the Witch world. Maybe not characters we know, but new ones that are introduced as side characters within the Burn the Witch world. I think that'd be really fun.
I guess we also don't know the timeline of when this is all happening because
in the one shot it's 4 years after the end of the manga.
After the end of Bleach?
Yeah, it's there's a time period set. Yeah.
Oh wow.
I don't know if they're gonna hold on, if he's gonna hold on to it, because that was in the one shot, not in these 4 chapters.
I mean, you have to say though. So essentially, it's Kubo saying Bleach was always set in modern times. So this is just him saying that this is also set in modern times.
Modern times.
He just didn't time skip at all. It's just still the same time period. That's it.
Okay.
That makes sense. Cool. Okay, boys, time for our most ambitious thing we've ever done. So this week, listeners, me, David, and Kitty, we watched 13. Yes, you heard us. 13 new anime shows. We each watched one episode of all 13 shows. Only the first episode. Some of these series do already have 2 episodes out as of the time of this recording. Some of them still only have their first episode out. By the time you see this, there will probably be about 2 episodes out for every show. The third it might not be for all of them, but most of them should have 2 episodes out at that point.
Between 2 to 3.
Yeah, it should be between 2 and 3. I think maybe 1 or 2 of them might still only have 1 show out or 1 episode out by the time you see this. If you're watching it the day it comes out. But we're gonna go ahead and give you our first impressions of the fall 2020 anime lineup. So here we go. We'll surprise you. If you watched our last episode, you know the 13 shows that we're going to be talking about tonight. But we'll surprise you tonight by introducing each show individually. Kitty giving the briefest, spoiler-free synopsis he can, and then us having.
And let's be honest, some of them may be fucking we only have 1 episode to work on.
We are just going to go in the list. Yep. We're going to go in order of the list that I sent you guys. So we're just going to go down the list top to bottom, which means we are going to start with one of the most interesting shows that I think I've ever sat down and watched. We're starting with a show called Hypnosis Mike, Rhyme Battle Anima, which is now streaming on Funimation. If you have access to Funimation's website or subscribe there, you can go watch it streaming, simulcast every week on Funimation. So, Kenny, take us away. What the hell was Hypnosis Mike about?
Hypnosis Mike is about some boys rapping. That is literally the entirety of the information that we're given.
You son of a bitch.
That's all that happens. We meet some rap crews, and they all rap, and we get a lady who introduced we live in a world where instead of fights or battles or weapons, everything's replaced with these hypnosis mics, and people are forced to rap battle to determine supremacy.
Right.
And so we're introduced to kind of gang, the brothers or whatever, and then we're introduced to a cop, a criminal, and like a
Navy guy.
Yeah,
a Navy guy. Yeah. Army. Yeah, Army, police, gang, Army, police, gang. Yeah. And then we're introduced to some stylish boys who rap, and then we are introduced to a doctor, a host, and a salary man.
Yeah, the last one's like
And-
working professionals is the one. I would
Yeah.
Yeah, but they all represent different areas.
Yeah, the third crew was supposed to be. What was the? I don't even think I understood what the third crew was. They were just like kids, or like I don't know. Like
You're talking about the pretty boys?
One's a clothing
they're
designer.
like pretty boys. Yeah,
One's
like,
a gambler.
Just pretty boys.
Just pretty
boys.
One's obsessed with money.
yeah.
Clothing designer, gambler, and then like the last guy who like is like ancient Japanese, I guess.
Yeah,
but they represent.
feudal. Yeah.
I think that they represent different areas of Japan, right?
Yeah.
So like the hosts were in Shinjuku, and so I think that's probably why, because I think that's fashion. The area that they represent is fashion, casinos, and I bet historical landmarks.
Right.
Okay.
And but then we're hinted at that they're part of a handful of the characters from each of the groups were part of the Dirty Dogs
The
or
dirty
some
dogs.
shit.
Yeah.
The Dirty Dogs.
They had to separate them. The government.
Yeah, they were too powerful
If
with
they
the
rapped
Dirty
together,
Dogs.
if they rapped together, it wouldn't. They would
It's
just
too
win.
far. It's too much.
We had to
Hey,
put
let
one
me-
in each team.
Let me tell you right now, you heard it here first. They're gonna rap together.
They're gonna rap together, Kenny. I
They're
think
gonna
that the
rap
teams are gonna eliminate each other. The Dirty Dogs are gonna get back to. They're gonna have to rap against the government. Is my assumption.
Against the lady, yeah,
the lady. That's
whatever. This show is a boys idol show. There's just so much idol shit. I don't like idol shows. They're not my favorite shows in the world.
What's a popular
But-
like Data Live is one, Kenny. That's an
Data
idol
Live,
show.
Hollow Live has just been fucking around a lot.
Yeah. So if you've seen any
I know
idol shows, this show seems to follow a similar step.
Totally same.
It's
Yeah,
right
yeah.
in step with it. The only difference, right, is that instead of singing, they all rap. It's rap.
They're
beginning
rapping.
to end. It is just boop, 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 boop. And some of it's pretty god awful. I'm not gonna lie. Some of the rapping. Now you guys can agree or disagree. I think some of the rapping was like pretty god awful. Like these voice actors needed to chill on it. Some of the rappers were pretty good. I thought some of them were actually pretty good, pretty talented.
Right. I like the boys. The first one, the boys.
Yeah, they
that were
sounded
rapping,
The brothers.
Mhm.
The brothers.
Yeah.
sounded cool.
I actually liked the fashion designer people. I was too. I was like,
Yeah, I felt like there were
Like-
a couple. Oh, David.
No, I was just gonna say like none of the rapping performances blew me away.
Mm-mm.
They're like I think the coolest thing about the rapping parts was the animation because this show is animated by A1 Pictures.
Oh,
Yeah,
I was wondering. It was
this
way
was-
prettier than I
It's
expected.
It's so pretty, and apparently this is one of the shows that was supposed to be airing in July, but was delayed because of COVID.
Oh,
So
wow, okay.
we're experiencing it delayed. But like the visuals, it's like
Looked great.
almost like an acid trip.
Yeah.
Like-
the show had a ton of style, a ton of fun.
Yeah.
Obviously, as with idol shows, each of the songs are basically just music videos on their own, and they're definitely going to be viewed as such.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And I think I read online that this is also being used as sort of a multimedia project. So my assumption is there's going to be CDs, there's going to be streaming versions. All the music
There's
produced
gonna
for
be
the show is going to be
concerts.
Yeah, this is going to be pushed out like more than just an anime, but more of like a music experience. Which that's fine. It just means that there's no like anime plot. Like if you really want to like watch something for a plot, this is not it. It was for rap performances with like plot mingled in. Essentially, these four groups of guys are going to be entered into a rap battle.
Rap battle competition.
Yeah. Okay, boys. I don't know if there's we
No, that's it.
What else can we say? What else can we
That's
say?
it.
but okay, David said it. The animation was really good. I was
Animation
Yeah.
was great.
I think
sat
that's the
there-
best part of the show is the animation.
I sat there saying, "Oh wow, this is really well animated for something I thought was more low budget." The performances were a mixed basket, but some of them were really fun to watch. I mean, even if they're not the greatest rappers, there was some fun and good vocals overall from the singers, the guys that sing.
Or-
What'd you guys think about the intro song?
When the intro started, I was like getting pretty hyped because I was like, "This is pretty good."
Well, I kind of
like,
liked it too, David.
yeah,
I actually liked the ending for this show more than the
I like the
intro.
ending. No, I like the ending too.
The-
I agree.
The ending was
good.
but the ending was something more that I would listen to, like this, not just to watch this anime. Like I'd be like, oh, this is a dope ending. Like,
Yeah,
fucking
the
happy
opening-
people ending to Bleach.
Now, if I'm remembering, because I watched.
Is it the
obviously-
same people?
No.
No, but I'm just
Oh,
saying
okay.
that's
Oh.
a dope ass ending.
Confirm
All
here,
of
guys.
Bleach's endings.
I'm pretty sure the opening, each one of the boys dropped one bar of the opening, is what I think happened.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Yeah.
I think every single character said something.
dropped one bar,
which is
so
pretty cool.
That's pretty interesting. It was pretty interesting. So yeah, I think it's got a cool, interesting. It's a oddly well drawn and well animated show. It's just nothing to marvel at. You're not going to sit there and be. You might be a really big fan of the music, and that's okay. This is not a show that you're sitting down to watch. Like, you're just not.
It's a
you know what I mean?
idol show.
Yeah, I mean, you might watch all of it just for fun or throw it on in the background or something. You honestly, you might enjoy it to some extent. I don't think this show was completely meritless, but definitely a different type of anime. Okay, homies. What do we? Okay, remember our new rating system. So
all right.
Either rate this. Each of us need to either give it a thumbs up, sideways, or a down, depending on what we think about this first show. So let's knock out Hypnosis. Mike, what are we thinking, boys? Is this an up, sideways, or down? In 3, 2, 1. We all gave it different ones.
Whoa!
I love music, and so I'm just so curious to see the remaining performances, and to see if they're continuously bad or get better. So.
Right.
I've never seen an idol anime. I didn't even know those were a thing until this show.
Right.
Really?
So yeah, I had no idea. It must be. Is it a new thing? Like a recent?
Last couple of
It
years.
goes all the way back to fucking Hatsune Miku.
No, yeah, it's the 2000s though, David. It's not like a.
It is fairly new.
It's
right?
not. Yeah, this is not something that's like an old.
Is that an idol show?
No, Miku doesn't have an anime, but Miku is a virtual idol. And then people sort of ran with that and started making anime series about their own virtual idols.
About virtual idols.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kenny, you went sideways. Why sideways for Hypnosis, Mike?
I'll probably check out some more of it. If I'm bored, I'll probably turn it on again. But I'm definitely not going to not watch it again. I want to see more. I'm interested. I think that it had a lot of fun animation, and I dig that a lot. So.
Right. Okay, well, I'll take the L. I went down because I don't see myself watching another episode, honestly. I generally watch anime because I'm trying to watch something that's either really funny, that's going to be like something to just kind of take my mind off things, or something I want to get really emotionally invested in. This show fell like right in the, like, it doesn't matter, and it's not like funny. It was at best like a spectacle, and I just don't see myself watching another episode unless I just had nothing else to watch. Like, this would be like, if I was super bored. Oh shit! I got a hair in my mouth. Let me get it out. I got it.
All that beard hair.
Yeah, no, that was a head hair that got in my mouth. This only the main's getting too long. But yeah, that's the only thing I can think about Hypnosis. My thumb. I mean, maybe it's slightly into a middle thumb. It's like maybe in the between. Just
hey, hold that, Jerry. Hold it. Hold that thumb. Just hold that thumb down.
I mean, it's one of those shows.
Yeah, quit backing off of your vote.
Especially if, let's say, this is one of those shows that if someone were to say that by the end, I liked it enough that if by the end someone's like, oh, the ending is really good or the show has a really cool finale, maybe I would go back and marathon it, because it's only supposed to be like 10 or 11 episodes. It's not supposed to be very long.
Let me tell you. It's not.
It's not gonna be though. I'm already prepared for that. But
wait for the Dirty Dogs performance.
Yeah,
but Dirty Dogs.
I could see myself watching the performances on YouTube. I'm sure the performance will get uploaded to YouTube. I can see myself watching that. Okay, let's go on to the next show. We got a lot to go through.
All right, what's next?
Show number 2 is Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Kenny, give us our semester or our. And just so you know, Ikebukuro is available only streaming simulcast on Funimation's website. So Funimation's website, Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Kenny, what is the show about?
Westgate Park is a gang anime. We're introduced to. Our main character is sort of this third party not associated with the gang in Ikebukuro, which are called the Kings, that's what they're called, right? Or they call their leader the King.
Their leader is the King. They're called G-Boys.
The G-Boys. G-Boys. There are hints of a second gang that are going to come in, but it sort of introduces us to this network of, people all working together, and that's basically it. In the first episode, they sort of snuff out this drug dealer that has moved into the area and that had been getting people so high that they were getting into accidents or hurting other people, and so they get rid of him.
I thought this show was going to be a Banana Fish clone after the drug thing was introduced, and like people were like getting crazy on the drug. I was like, is this going to be a Banana Fish?
Yeah.
And it's really cool because apparently this show is based on like a bunch of other stuff like before. Like it used to be like a live action like drama in Japan. Really? It used to be very, very popular like a while ago, like early 2000s.
Wow.
And with another anime that was supposed to be premiering this summer, but was pushed back because of COVID.
Okay. Yeah.
Also has a banger opener. I thought the opener was pretty banger.
Yeah.
This is probably one of my top 3 of all the anime that we saw. It was just very.
Do you have the studio pulled up, David? Who animated it?
Yep, it's a Daga Kobo.
I don't even know them. Damn.
Which I can find out for you. They did. Let's see. They did nothing that I recognize, which doesn't really say a lot.
Right.
But
pretty new studio. Is that what I would say?
Have you guys heard of My Senpai is Annoying? Was that something that we talked about before?
I think I've heard of it, but I don't think I've ever watched it.
That's the one you always mention.
What?
Yeah,
that's
but I mean
the one with the girl with the opie shirt, right?
No,
with the short.
No, that's Uzaki-chan wants to hang out.
I mean, they've been animating things since 2007, and they've animated quite a bit. So I mean, they have a track record. Well, I don't know if it's a good or bad track record.
Well, all I'll say is, I thought the show was another one that the animation was better than I thought it was going to be.
Yeah. Good animation.
Pretty well.
Good setup of story.
Character design, the background, especially the background art in this one, just because they took a location that actually exists in Japan and kind of brought it to life. I thought that was a really cool. It looked really clean. The background artwork. Yeah, I don't know, guys. Other than that, like Kenny kind of covered the story. I mean, you got your main character who is like, he's kind of this. We don't know his history, like why he's so well connected. Why does he have so many friends in high places? You know, he's kind of got connections with cops. He's got connections with store owners. He's got connections with gangs. Seems very agile. He seems very pretty good, mind-wise. Like he's really smart, is what I would say. Seems pretty positioned well. And then he's kind of got this relationship, at least in the first episode, with the kid that I thought was kind of an interesting thing. They actually wrapped it up in the first episode, though. I was kind of theorizing as I was watching it. I thought maybe this was going to be like the basis of the show. Was that you've got your well-acquainted adult who kind of needs to learn some humility, and you've got your young kid who kind of needs to learn how to become better or more connected. I thought maybe the two would learn from each other throughout the show, but I can't tell if that's what episode 2 is going to bring or not yet. It might still go that direction, but I don't know.
I was thinking more that there is such an interconnected weave that already existed, and we needed an introduction to that. I think that was important of having the kids sort of ask the questions us as viewers needed.
Maybe they would then our position.
From now on, I think that it's just going to be the way the gangs play against each other, the G boys and whatever the red gang is going to be.
Right.
I'm definitely interested in this one. I like a lot of the character designs. I do like, and I think that the main guy is sort of a part of the community of Ikebukuro, right? He's involved in because he runs a store in Ikebukuro, and his mom is there, and he grew up with a lot of the people that work there, and he's very interconnected in that community. And I think that I think at the forefront of this, the main character of the show is becoming Ikebukuro Westgate Park. From what I could tell from this first episode, like we got to see a lot of the sites, and we visited different areas, and we sort of got ingrained in the community there. So I'm interested in what's going to go on. I wonder if this is going to be a West Side Story style of plot, or
the story is supposed to reflect the quoting from Wikipedia, the underbelly of modern Japanese society. So Ikebukuro Park is I think a popular park in Tokyo.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a lot of apparently like gang warfare, like a lot of like turf battles and things like that happen. Right. So this show is supposed to like draw light to that and just show it like in a dramatic sense. I mean, like the show itself is like really dark with like prostitution, like rape, and drug abuse, and things like that, like the Yakuza. So it's supposed to be like a really dark subject matter.
Right.
So I'm interested to see like where the anime takes it, because I mean they talked about drugs in the first episode, which I mean drugs or whatever. So I'm curious to see if the subject matter gets any darker going forward.
Me too. Okay.
Yeah, and who's that shirtless guy in the opening? Okay, why is he fighting with his feet?
Clearly, this show has a lot to be desired after the first episode.
Yeah,
that made me go,
for
okay,
sure.
yeah, this is cool. Okay, boys, let's give it a thumb. I am going 3, 2, 1. I'm going straight in the middle for me. I'll watch a couple more episodes for sure.
I'll probably.
David said I'm watching it. David said,
I'm watching it. I'm watching everything.
David's giving it.
This can be David at the end of the night. 13 new shows for David.
Gotta get my cat's paws up.
Yeah, David's gonna.
Yeah, I think it's a solid middle thumb for me just because it actually left me wondering a little bit. The wife was not super impressed by it. I thought that there was something there that might be fun to watch more of. So I said I'd like to watch. I'll watch 1 or 2 more episodes. If it doesn't like pick up or pace up after episode 3 or 4, I might drop it. But that's why I went sideways. But I'd like to watch a couple more. Kenny, David?
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Oh, okay.
Well, I'm gonna keep watching it.
Except David's for sure gonna watch it. David will definitely.
I'm 2 for 2.
Okay,
2 for
boys.
2.
Next we have. This is available on Funimation and Hulu. It's called Akudama Drive. It's a new original anime series. I believe it's not based off of anything. So the anime is the first version of this we will ever be getting. And it is available on Funimation or Hulu. You can actually watch this one on Hulu as well. Funimation is partnered with Hulu to let you watch this one simulcast. Kenny, what was Akudama Drive about?
So, an Akudama is a criminal. And we are introduced to these 6 criminals.
Yeah.
They're S-rank criminals. And each of them have different aliases. And then we get a couple more criminals that are sort of associated with this thing that's going on. And so at the beginning of the episode, we're told that Cutthroat is being executed that day live. And then each of these 6 high-ranked criminals are given jobs to go and rescue Cutthroat, except for Courier, who delivers a package to Cutthroat in his execution. This show had a ton of style. I think that the character introductions were so cool. I'm upset that the main girl didn't get a cool little cutout with Swindler or whatever, because that would have been awesome.
That would have been dope. Yeah.
I loved Hoodlum. Hoodlum was fucking hilarious. He was like, "What's going on? Money?" Yes. And he runs. But I think that this show had a lot of style, a lot of color, a lot of cool animation, and it was just a lot of fun. Honestly, for our first episode, especially. Like, I think that this is a good hook anime. Like, this didn't wait to episode 2 or 3 to really get its hooks in you. This show was like, listen, this is the shit. Like, we're getting after it.
Yeah.
Yeah, it laid the groundwork really well. And for those of you who are Quentin Tarantino fans, you might recognize that there are a lot of Quentin Tarantino-esque references or isms in the show. And that's because the director of the show, I think is the director, is inspired. He takes a lot of inspiration from Quentin Tarantino's work. Wow. You can kind of tell by like the cutout of like the introduction of a new character is like a zoom in and it's like their stylized name or things like that. So I mean, like Kenny said, like this is like a tie for like my most liked anime of the group.
Me too.
Between this and another show that we'll talk about later, but like the style. I think this was the show that I noticed instantly. The stills of the city, like at night, there was just like scenes where the main character was like in the beginning of the episode, maybe like walking from A to B or whatever. But the focus is like on the background and this futuristic city, like at night. See like all the floating cars and just like the lights on buildings. It was just so fucking beautiful. Honestly, I really I think the art of this anime was my easily my favorite art. Favorite animation.
Yes. Yeah. Speaking, and we talk about this a lot. This show is one of the few shows that, to me, seamlessly blended 3D and 2D animation together. You don't see that a lot when it comes to TV anime. You don't see that being done well. This show looked like a anime film, to be honest. It looked like an anime film. You couldn't take your eyes off of it. It was only 22 minutes in the first episode, and it was constantly action-packed. The pacing was insane, but you never felt overwhelmed. The characters were introduced in such a fluid way. You knew exactly what was happening. You knew where the characters were going. And the last minutes of the episode makes you go, fuck, I have to watch the next one. Like, literally, what a great first episode, because at the end of it, I was like, oh my God. I was like, Alyssa, fuck this. I'm just going to watch the next one, because episode 2 is already out. And no, we were like, no, we'll wait. But crazy. I was like, wow, like what a incredible, I mean, you guys have said character designs on point, animation on point, the way the music and the lighting worked, the directorial decisions, the characterizations, the voice acting, everything worked in the show. I mean, it was, you don't even have to be a fan of sci-fi and action, which is what, this is a sci-fi action series, to be honest. Sci-fi action thriller, essentially. And, you don't really have to be a fan of those genres to at least enjoy the spectacle that this show is. It felt very much like the movie Blade Runner. It had a lot of that inspiration, that sort of lights and science fiction mixed together. You had all the, and Quentin Tarantino's inspiration was like splattered all over this shit, dude. Like, oh my God. Like the blood splatters, the action scenes, the cuts, like just incredible. Yeah, I just was sitting there like absolutely stunned, because I watched this series right next to another series in this list that I hated, to be honest. And I was stunned, dude. I was absolutely stunned. Man. Because what this show did is that it allowed us to have exposition without being annoying or without being intentionally, like, they said things like Akudama, but they allowed us to slowly understand what that was in the first episode, instead of just dropping like 15 different phrases of organizations and names and things that we are never going to understand for 12 episodes, shit like that. I hate it when exposition is done that way, because it feels like they're just trying to tell you all this shit, and they're going to slowly explain it. That, to me, that's poor exposition. This show handled exposition much better, and that you got to see things play out. Everything was playing out in front of you in an action sequence, in a pacing sequence. You saw these moments happen in front of you, instead of it just talking at you and making you feel stupid. And I hate shows that just try to like talk at you. So this show not only introduced like a vivid world, but it's a world that I want to learn more about. It's the characters I want to learn more about. I mean, fuck, just, yeah, go watch Akudama Drive. The first episode was a banger. Really, I really hope this show holds up. It's really easy with a show like this to, by episode 8, feel really played out. And I hope this show holds up. I hope it makes it through to the season, and it feels like one conjoined package. Again, the end of episode 1 leaves you with a story thread that I assume is going to be the arc of the first season.
Right. And
I think it's only scheduled to have 12 or 13 episodes, so I think this should be a pretty good, fun little seasonal arc, and it could be really good as long as I just need the pacing to not fail us in the middle. Like, if the pacing hits a wall in the middle, and all of a sudden we're getting long exposition episodes where Swindler Girl is, I don't know, like fucking walking her dog at the park, I'll be like, this is weird. Like, I don't know what's going on. Yeah. But if it can help the pacing and carry the pacing while letting the story play out, this could be a banger. This could potentially be the best show of the season if it holds. But yeah, that's where I'm at with this show. I loved Akudama Drive, guys.
And it gave me a distinct nostalgic feeling about Danganronpa. I think that what interested me a lot about Danganronpa whenever it first came out was each of these exciting characters. Like, they just gave us these big tropey characters and then let us sort of have fun with them. And I'm a big Danganronpa fan. I love the first 2 games. I'm a fucking piece of shit. I still haven't played the third one.
Damn I love the anime. The first anime.
And there's not a lot of our main characters, and so I'm scared that, because in Danganronpa, obviously, you lose a lot of characters. They fucking die. And I expect that in Akudama Drive, and I'm scared that that's going to thin out our cast, and some of the characters that I really enjoy being around are not going to be there as long as I want them to be.
Right.
So, I'm definitely excited. This one is got a lot of style, super awesome. So.
Okay, I have a suspicion about our thumbs on this one, boys. What do you think is going to happen?
I think it's pretty obvious.
I think we probably are all doing this for this one, huh? I think we're all sticking with Akudama Drive.
This one's staying on.
Yeah, this one is a show that's awesome. Yes, we are really enjoying this show. So let's go to the next one, guys. Let me pull up my list. Okay. Oh, geez. This one, okay, I'm actually really curious to hear both y'all's thoughts about this next one. So the next one we have here is called Talentless Nana. Talentless Nana.
Oh.
So I'm curious to hear y'all's thoughts, because I have some... I'm just curious.
I forgot to add that one.
We will throw it your way, Kenny. Give us a little quick descript. What was Talentless Nana about?
Our story's set on this island where kids are being trained to fight the adversaries of humanity, and each of them have special powers. We're introduced to a fire user and an ice user, and our main character, who we think is our main character, is talentless. He says his power really isn't that useful. And he becomes friends with this girl named Nana, who says that she can read minds. She reads people's minds. That's her power. But to spoil the first episode, it's a whole ass pull.
Yeah, we'll spoil it because I think it's worth it for the discussion.
Right.
Of this one.
For this one in particular, if you haven't seen it, watch it because it is a big ass pull.
Yeah.
But Nana
I was shocked.
Nana is one,
David was shocked.
talentless, doesn't have a power. Two, our main guy has the power to stop other powers, and it turns out he stops bodily functions, and that's why he has such a big kill count. He can literally just kill humans straight up by touching them.
Wow, Kenny, you just spoiled like beyond the first episode. What?
Well, I think it's supposed to be in the first episode. It's
I was
a
just
part
saying,
of.
we didn't see that.
I think it's in her email.
Yeah, they showed like his potential. Like he could potentially kill millions of people.
Kill count, millions, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Right.
I was like, "This dude."
And so it seems like Nana is there to kill all these kids for some reason, and that's sort of it.
I wouldn't say for some reason. She's essentially like a covert operative for the.
Yeah, she's like a secret agent for
like the future, or
I don't know if we know that, or.
Well, I mean, but it says that he kills 1 million people in the future.
I just thought that's estimated. That's how I perceived it.
Yeah,
it's like,
I don't know if it was like future, like if they have like a person that has a talent to look into the future to see what could happen. Yeah. I think it's just like if he becomes evil for whatever reason, even though all these kids don't seem evil.
No, I think that my assumption is that she is one of the evil forces, and they have the reverse perspective, so they think all the kids are evil because they're all being trained to kill them. And so they're like, we're the right ones. We're the good guys. That's the way I perceived it. That she's like,
no, you're right. You're
kids,
right,
dude. Yeah, I was like, which was a pretty. I mean, throughout the show, there was actually some inklings in the first episode that they were going to pull that ass pull because what was it? Halfway through, our main guy is like, he's like, the rumors around here is that they've already infiltrated our type or whatever, and then she gets gusted of winded off the side, and he catches her, yada yada yada. Also, I thought it was weird. They were
she says that he's a general, or he becomes a general.
Maybe they do have someone that can look into the future.
I think it's a future thing. She's under the impression that she was an assassin sent back in time. Was that not
in the first episode?
No.
Okay.
I don't think it's
you probably read ahead. Did you read the manga version?
No.
Wait, did you watch episode 2 though?
No, not yet.
I did watch episode 2.
David, you did?
You what?
I did.
Okay, so David knows. I only know episode 1, so I'm like, you guys are freaking me out. I'm like,
It doesn't get better. I'll just put that out there.
I think that jeez.
You go ahead.
I was just gonna say from the start. Okay, this show started, and I said, "Is this a My Hero Academia clone?"
I thought the same thing.
What the fuck? I said the main character,
they're good at their Bakugo.
He takes notes, and then his rival guy blasts fire out of his hands, and there's a sexy ice guy, and I was like, what the fuck is going on here? And then they introduce Nana, and then obviously the story takes a whole different turn. It's it's post-apocalyptic in some ways, blah blah blah. And then you've kind of got this moment. He's like, oh look, I can put a shield, and then I'll get off the edge and die, blah blah blah. It just felt like a series of ass pulls. I mean, like Kenny said, there's a difference to me between a genuinely interesting story and something that feels like maybe derivative or feels like it's trying to be edgy or hardcore, without purpose or value. And I think that's where I was on the line with this show. It's almost interesting, but it almost just feels too edgy, too we're brooding and and I'm a villain and I'm secret, it almost felt a little too on the nose with the way it was presenting some of this information. That kind of turned me off a little bit, but it does have sort of an interesting layer of world building that I was maybe I'll watch another one. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And now, David, you already watched another one, so it's clearly it got your ass.
Well, yeah, that's the thing. I see this, the first episode, I think what it did well was world build.
Mm-hmm.
And it built like the potential of where the show could go. And the ass pull at the end, was not expecting at all. I was completely blindsided.
David was like,
and I was kind of, I was shook. I was shook, honestly. But then I kind of hate it when that happens because they spend an entire episode building up, this specific character. I guess it's for a reason, so that that shock factor is stronger.
Right.
But they spent the entire first episode, introducing this character and like building him up, and then you just push him off. And the thing is, like, maybe he's not dead. Maybe he comes back up in the future somehow. I mean, that happens in shows all the time, I feel. Yeah. So, and I won't say anything. I won't say anything about the second episode, but the first episode, I was like, it's not awful. I did feel like it was like a lot of like, cliche anime things that they put in, and that was like,
also,
man,
animated really poorly in my opinion. I think the art and animation direction are really bad in this show.
They were meh to me. I wasn't really wowed by the art or the animation. It seemed very like simplistic to me.
But this show reminds me a lot of Akame ga Kill, especially with the first episode ass pull shit. Like Akame ga Kill sort of has this like, we're here to fight beasts and go to the capital and earn money for our village, and then guess what? My friends got killed and raped, and you're like, what the fuck? But then the character that killed and raped the characters that we like is our main character. Like Nana is the murderer is the main character, and you're like, at least in Akame ga Kill, like we were like, we're on board with the other dude. Like I liked Nanao. Like I was like, this dude's pretty cool and he's nice and he just wants to have fun and be a leader. And I don't know. It was like the less interesting, less fun character became our main character. And I was like, ugh, okay.
Yeah, and I think like they give us a brief snapshot of all the characters in the first episode. None of them look interesting at all. Like they all like the characters' designs are like not good.
Nope.
I think.
No, I agree with you, dude.
Yeah.
To me, the art, animation, and character design, all that it felt really weak. I mean, it just didn't feel strong. Nana's character was really the only standout to me. And I guess they're trying to set her up for something. I think Nanao isn't dead either. I think for sure he's coming back. I don't know why they would waste so much time in unless it really was just to like shock and subvert us, which is like total like a narrative death trap in my opinion. Like you just set yourself up to fail when you do that.
I sort of saw it like every episode's going to be like that, and then Nana kills them. And you're like,
I hope not, man. That would not make me want to watch it if that's how if the layers go like that.
Yeah.
I'm not. Sure.
That's sort of what I thought the show was going to be, and I was like, that's lame. Like,
okay.
Well,
let's thumb it. I'm actually gonna go with. I think I'm gonna surprise you guys. I'm gonna go side thumb.
Yeah, I went side thumb too.
I'll probably watch a couple more episodes.
I feel like I have to watch at least 2 more and see if the methodology doesn't change in the next 2 episodes. I'll definitely drop it. But if it surprises me in the next 2 episodes, I might stay with it. We'll see though. But yeah, I think we all are on the same page with this. It's pretty meh, but it does have an interesting world build and an interesting premise. It's just ugly to me. It looks nasty, and it just the dialogue was messy. The dialogue was not sharp, and the character building was just a little cliche and a little felt not well written. But okay, great. Let's go to the next show, boys. We still got a lot to get through. We got about an hour left, so I think we're gonna make it. I think we're gonna make good time.
I think we're doing a good time.
I think we will. So our next one is a show called Dragon Quest Dai no Daiboken. This one is going to be available to you all at home on Crunchyroll or Hulu, actually, if you would like to watch it simulcasted each week. Dragon Quest Dai no Daiboken. And to preface, this is actually a remake. This was made into an anime a long time ago, I believe in the 90s. This is a remake of that 90s anime series and is based off the old manga that ran in Shonen Jump, actually. It's a Shonen Jump series from, I want to say the late 80s or early 90s as well. So this is a remake of an old Shonen Jump show, but it does start from the beginning, which is why we included it on this list, because it's not a continuation or anything. It is just the original story reanimated or readapted. I have never seen any of the originals at all, so Kenny, tell us, what is Dragon Quest Dai no Daiboken about?
So Dragon Quest Dai no Daiboken is about Dai, and he's Goku, and he's going to fight some creatures. And I'm pretty sure that's the whole story. This is Dragon Ball Z.
But in the
so
first
far,
episode, he fights with creatures to fight people.
What? Yeah. He's actually Ash Ketchum, I think. He like Pokemon trainers them. He gushes and gulps them.
Yeah, gush and gulp, dude.
Yeah, this is just I don't think this story. This is like the most bare bones, most classic story there is. Kid becomes a hero or wants to become a hero. Seems like he's going to go on an adventure. Probably slay some sort of demon lord by the end. It was pretty dope. It was very Dragon Ball Z. They were fighting. It was fucking cool. That was pretty dope. And that's it.
Yeah.
I
seems pretty cool.
I mean,
I enjoyed the fight scene.
Yeah, this show is it's just a standard shonen. I mean, it's just an old school shonen. There seems to be maybe a monster of the week type of story element to it. It seems like Dyne is probably just gonna fight things and get stronger and stronger. Maybe there's some overarching plot that'll kind of develop where he maybe has to go on a specific adventure or quest. But he's questing in a kind of a magical, mystical monster world, and it looks nice. Toei did a good job animation-wise. Toei is usually known for having kind of ass animation, but I think they did pretty good on this show. Again, it's supposed to be an attempt to update or bring to the new world this older series. The Dragon Quest world is it's vivid. It's got really cool monster designs. And I think that's really fun to look at. But yeah, it feels like it's a kid's show, is the way I can describe it.
Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
Like a kid's show. Feels like you're watching a kid's show. Doesn't mean that that's bad, though, is the way I would put it. I don't know. David, what do you think?
I mean, it's nice to see some Akira Toriyama-esque artwork.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. When I started watching this, I mean, the first thing that I thought was like, is this a kid show? Is the audience for the show for kids?
Yeah.
Which isn't like a bad thing per se. But I don't know. It was just a thought that I had as I was watching it.
Right.
Nothing stood out that was like awful. Nothing stood out that was like amazing either. I might watch a few more episodes. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to say about it. I mean, I like Dragon Quest as a series. I think Dragon Quest is really cool. This specific storyline, I don't know. I didn't play this game because it's apparently based on it's based off the series. So
yeah, I think it's just based off Dragon Quest.
Yeah, so it's not based off of like a specific game in the Dragon Quest franchise. But yeah, I mean, I like Dragon Quest. So I mean, there is no other Dragon Quest anime that's out there right now. So I mean, I'm definitely going to watch a little bit more to see where it goes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, first episode was all right. There's not a whole lot to say.
Yeah. Probably the most simple one on this list because the plot was literally kid lives on island with monsters. Monster gets taken. He beats guy who takes it. That was literally what we learned in the first episode. He is strong guy. He have sword now. Yeah, like David. I know it's not. I think it's technically intended for the shonen age range, which is like 12 to 18 is really what shonens are for. But it definitely felt on the lower end, like younger audiences would certainly enjoy this because there's just lots of cute little monsters and characters and blah blah blah. You know, there was no blood, there was no gore, there was no
it's
cursing.
Super simple plot.
Yeah.
There's nothing like too deep to comprehend. It's just little boy trying to get stronger. He wants to be a hero. He don't want to be a mage. He wants to save the world.
He wants to whack shit with his sword, baby.
He wants to whack shit.
He wants to cast frizz.
And I have a suspicion he's gonna keep whacking shit with his sword every episode. I'm just calling it right now. I think that's gonna happen for the rest of the show.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
But no,
he's gonna go Super Saiyan probably. Maybe he'll fight Frieza. I don't know.
Let's just kick it off. Let's just kick it to the side then. Okay, guys, what's your thumb on this one? Mine's an easy half, easy in the middle for me. Kenny's sticking with it. To me, this is a show that I'll watch a couple more episodes. I probably get bored and drop it. The first episode, yeah, we'll see. I might not even watch episode 2.
I mean, we see in the intro there are like he does eventually gain a party of people, like two more.
Yeah, there's like 2 other characters with him.
Right.
He gets like Trunks and Bulma, I think.
Bulma, yeah, Trunks and Bulma join his party.
Bulma.
Yeah, and then they go to Capsule Corps, and then they
and then he fights Vegeta. You know Vegeta.
and then they travel to Planet Namek.
They gotta fight Frieza.
They gotta fight Frieza.
Damn, I think it's
then they go back to Earth, and then they fight Cell in the Cell games.
But actually, Vegeta's son comes back in time and tells him that he's gonna die of heart disease.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't know. That's what kills Goku. Heart disease. That's what kills Goku.
No, I heard. Haven't you guys seen the video online? Would coronavirus kill Goku? Have you guys seen that?
Yes.
It's a real. video.
I have.
There's a real. Someone made a YouTube video about would the coronavirus kill Goku.
It's like a 2-hour-long analytical video.
It's like a genuine. It's like a genuine analysis, David. This person genuinely analyzed if the coronavirus would be more deadly than the heart disease or whatever. It's got a lot of views, I'm pretty sure.
The coronavirus instead of the heart disease.
There it is, baby. There it is. How many views does that have?
40,000 views.
40,000 people have watched that shit. Okay.
Trunks has got to come back in time with the vaccine, though. So.
Okay, we've done our thumbs for that, though. Let's go ahead and move on, boys. So the next show on our list is Iwa-Kakeru Sport Climbing Girls. Kitty's already got his thumbs up. He's not even gonna wait.
Thumbs
Kitty,
up.
what the hell is Iwa-Kakeru? This is the most simple plot.
Iwa-Kakeru is a sports anime about girls and climbing. I genuinely watch YouTubers on YouTube that climb. I like watching climbing YouTubers. It's fucking fun to watch, okay? Watching them dudes move their bodies like that. And you know what? I want to watch big titty anime girls climb walls. I don't know, man.
That's the
our
plot.
main girl
Just so everyone knows,
plays
that's
video
the plot.
games. The plot is our main girl plays video games, and that's like important. So there's like on site, or you have like time, or there are like 3 different ways of climbing. I literally watch climbing shit, and I don't know the names.
I don't know if it matters for the show. I don't know if we need to know all the different.
Well, our main girl is like she's a puzzler, so like she likes to read and understand the wall, which is important in climbing. But then like our other girl, she like just physicaled it, and she just does it on site. And it's just there are some girls with some big titties.
All right, guys. So the first episode of Iwa-Kakeru, we met 4 big tittied anime girls, and we watched as they stuck their big old titties up against rock walls, and they gave us shots of their vaginas while they talked about puzzles. That's literally, it was 22 minutes of that. That is literally the entirety of the show. If that's up your alley, go for it. Go watch more. That's all
one girl is like really buff. She's got like abs, bro.
Oh my god, yeah. And yeah, Jesus Christ. If David.
Okay. So the first episode, there is definitely fan service because the main character climbs the wall for the first time. She's never done it before. I'll give a little bit more context to the episode. Jerry and Kitty did a bad job. So Iwa-Kakeru, sports climbing girl.
On the story.
It's about a girl, and she's starting high school. And she's been, a hermit. She loves puzzle video games. Just picture like Tetris or Puyo Puyo. She loves those video games. She's won a Japanese national tournament of those puzzle games. She's a big deal. So she's walking around school trying to figure out what club she wants to join. She's like, she doesn't know what she wants to do. And then she stumbles upon a rock climbing wall. And she's like, what's this? And then a girl comes up who is like basic Lancer. And she's like, try it out. I'll show you how to do it. And so they're climbing. She's getting it. She's figuring it out. She's like, this shit's like a puzzle. And she puts 2 and 2 together. She's like, I'm a rock climber.
Yep.
And then we realize that this club in the school is currently 3 members. The girl that was training her is one of them, and there's 2 others that are older. And they test her to basically they make her try out to be a part of the club. She passes successfully. She's part of the club. And that's the first episode.
Yep.
And so I won't go further because I've already watched all the episodes available. Is
there 3 episodes or only 2 right now?
I think there are 3.
3 out. Because I think it was one of the first ones to come out.
Yeah, it came out a bit ago. I think as we're airing this, there are 3 episodes out. Honestly, like like Kenny said, I just like seeing big titted girls climbing walls, pressing their titties up against the wall, and that's all it is.
That's all it is.
Sports anime. I like rock climbing, and I like big titty anime girls. This checks every box for me.
They made an anime just for Kenny. This is it.
Yeah. It feels like that all the time.
And the thing is, though, this isn't just big titty girls climbing walls, squeezing their titties up against the wall, vagina shots from below. It's not just that. There is kind of a plot. Like, picture any sports anime where you have your team and they're going to eventually have a national tournament.
Yeah.
This is what this is basically on the track of going on. So, there's not, like I said, there's not like a lot of fan service. Yes, it's primarily women, sports climbing women, and they have titties. I mean, that's the normal anatomy of a female, or not normal, whatever. The females have titties.
Yeah.
So there's like slight fan service in the first episode, but there's not a lot in the following episodes.
You're lying.
So
you're a goddamn liar.
I'm dead ass.
David
so if you see this and you think, oh, this is just titties and rock climbing, it's more than that. There's an actual story, actual character progression.
Y'all are cracking me up. There's no way, dude.
Oh shit!
Okay.
Let's give it a thumb.
Let's give it a thumb.
We've talked about it long enough.
I'm already out, dude. I'm
Two
done.
thumbs up, bro. I'm watching every episode of this show.
I can't watch this show. I'm sorry, guys. I'm just not a man of culture, I guess. I'm not a man of culture.
You're not,
not
man.
A man of culture.
It's
You're
fine.
not.
We've honestly talked about it more than we should have. So
we just spent so much time. You pretty much don't even have to watch the show anymore. You know it now. It's done.
That was literally everything to the T.
Well, but Google, the best part.
Google image search her having her titties pressed up against the wall, and then you'll be done. That's all you'll need.
Lots of vagina shots for real. Like there was a lot of.
Okay, there's one, maybe two in the first episode.
Yeah, there's at least two, maybe three.
The one where she's like stretching her leg out.
Yeah, there's like a solid one where her feet are like right here, and then all of a sudden she spreads completely, and the shot is just right up her butt crack. Like I was like, who was the director of this show?
They know what they're about.
They know what they were doing. All right, let's go to the next show. Next show is called Adachi and Shimamura. Iwa-Kakeru is available on Crunchyroll if you want to stream it. Adachi and Shimamura is available on Funimation. This is the next show we're going to talk about. Adachi and Shimamura. Kenny, what's the show about?
It's about two girls in high school, and I think they're falling in love. It's really cute. It's really somber. They like ditch class together. Like Adachi, I guess, doesn't fit in very well, and I guess skips class a lot, and that's sort of where they first are introduced to each other. And Shimamura is sort of more outgoing, but also like very laissez-faire, where like she doesn't like give a fuck really.
Yeah.
And so like it's about their budding relationship. The first episode we get like just a portion. It was very clear to me. It seemed like there were 2 chapters in there, or maybe 3 chapters.
Might have been 3.
Where like the first one is just them two playing ping pong together, and we get to know them, and then we meet some of Shimamura's other friends, and they sort of invade on their special place, the area where they play ping pong together, and then Adachi gets upset or hurt emotionally, and Shimamura doesn't understand how to deal with that. And that's sort of it, I think that these girls are like in love with each other or budding a relationship together. I really like the area, like, because it seems like a very, I don't know, like I'm not from Japan. I've never been to Japan, but it seems like it's this sort of but where we grew up, we were city, but very close to being to rural, and so it has that sort of, if I just go down the road, then I'm in the rural area, but I live in a city. And so it sort of has that feel, and I don't know. It was cute.
Yeah. Pretty slice of lifey. We're just seeing these two girls just get closer to each other. I thought the first episode was cute, adorable, not a whole lot of, I guess, plot. Well, I guess a bit of plot, because we're seeing an introduction of these characters and kind of like the layout of this universe. And they're both kind of they're not bad. I like what's the word? They're kind of not. I guess delinquents. Not really delinquents.
Adachi
They use the word delinquent. Yeah, they use that.
Okay. Yeah, we can kind of we see like Adachi like Kenny said, like they skip class, they like just hang out in like the upper levels of the gym, just playing ping pong and just hanging out. And I guess from here we're just going to see them spend more time with each other, and we might see them have some type of conflicts like with other people, or I'm not really sure. But I mean, I'm interested to see where it goes. I think more than anything, it's just cute. It's just adorable. We're just seeing these two high school girls just kind of grow feelings for each other. So
yeah. I think you guys pretty much covered it. It's a well animated, very cutesy. I mean, it's a romance series with a bit of slice of life. I think my biggest like contention with it is that it was just a bit boring. I mean, to be honest, like
I'll agree.
Not in a way that like romance can be exciting. I think My Love Story is a good example of a romance that is really done well because you were engaged in each topic. This first episode felt very sleepy. It felt very, I don't know. Though I also want to
felt slow.
Almost
felt
like,
very slow.
It also had some moments with like some really like breathy, like inner monologues that I just thought were like sort of r/I am very smart. Like these are like 14-year-old girls. They don't have to have like, these like breathy inner monologues for us to understand that they're like they like each other. Like, do you know what I mean? Like when I'm seeing like high schoolers fall in love, I don't need like an in-depth metaphor of like the idea of falling in an ocean and drowning in the love that I feel.
Yeah.
Like there and it was like
because high schoolers don't say that.
They don't say that shit. They just like each other and they don't know why and they just make it happen. Like to me, like that would have been more genuine. This felt very like breathy, and maybe it's a way for the author to cope with their own. Maybe they had I don't know. Obviously, I don't know the author, but maybe the author has some shared feelings, and that these are sort of the author expressing some of those feelings through this artwork, which is cool. I give them props. I just don't know if it created the most interesting story. We get like Kenny said, there's like this. There is a little bit of conflict right out of the gate. Shimamura has other friends. Adachi doesn't like that. Then they kind of make up, and they like ride home in the rain, and then they have like their Jesus, I'm already forgetting the back moment that happens. I mean, it's just I'm just not sure about this one.
Just like I think that one show so a total side note and totally to derail, but Fulikuli does such a good job of capturing like Naota says some confusing shit because he's fucking 15 and he's like, I don't like sour things and nothing ever, but I love the adage of like, he's like, nothing ever happens here. Nothing interesting, nothing fun. While fun, exciting, interesting things are happening to fucking him. And so I think that whenever you get these teenagers, what did Shimamura was like, after that moment, I felt as though I wouldn't see Adachi for a while. And you're like, I don't fucking need that. What does...
Yeah,
they literally go to the same school. How are you not going to see her for a while?
There were like long expo dumps that felt unnecessary.
And Adachi was like, we looked at the cicada, and then 15 days later, she showed up with dirt on her hands because it's implied that she went and buried the dead cicada that they saved.
Yeah, it did.
Like,
well, she killed it. She like slapped it.
Yeah, dude, she did.
She's just...
I'm forgetting what happened at the end of this episode. There was like another thing that happened. It was like they rode in the rain.
Kid.
She runs around like an airplane.
Kid,
yeah. Okay, but this again, it's super forgettable show. This is like one of the few that I was just like, this is whatever. Okay, let's thumb it. Okay. Let's thumb it, boys. Let's thumb it. For me, this is unfortunately a thumbs down. I don't think I'll watch any more of this.
I'll probably see a couple more. I'm interested in what the fuck that kid is doing in the astronaut outfit. Okay, I do think that I was like, what is going on? Why does it keep showing us this?
I'm not sure. Yeah, to me, there wasn't enough there to make me want to watch more. Is the way that I'll put it. I mean, there just wasn't enough there. I don't feel like it's going to do anything groundbreaking. I don't feel like it's a show that's going to do anything that's going to challenge the genre. Or, I mean, at the very least, yes, it's a really cool story because it tells about two young women in love. And I saw that and I understand that, but I want it to do, just with any story, you want to be interested, you want to be engaged, and I just think the show didn't do that for me. So, thumbs down from Jer. All right, boys. Are we ready for the next one?
Next. Yeah.
This one's really interesting to me, as this is a prequel series to Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's Sherlock Holmes.
Right.
And it's a series that actually runs in Shueisha's Jump Squared, which is their monthly manga that goes with Weekly Shonen Jump. This is Monthly Shonen Jump. So this is a series that is actually attached to the Shonen Jump world, essentially. But Moriarty the Patriot airs on Funimation, simulcasted every week. Kitty, what the hell is Moriarty the Patriot about?
So Moriarty the Patriot is about William James Moriarty. As a younger man, he isn't Professor William James Moriarty, obviously. Even though it seems like we're probably going to meet Sherlock Holmes, I think it was he in the opening.
There's a character that looks like it could be. Alyssa and I said that.
Yeah.
We're like,
the two guys that are running together, look like Sherlock and Watson.
Yeah.
But this is just a classic. Tons of anime are detective shows. I think obviously Detective Conan is one of the biggest ones there is, but pretty often sort of these sort of multi-episode or episode or two detective shows that are come out every season. I think last season there was Inspector, and then season before that there was the Jewel Detective. It's pretty much par for the course. It's a little interesting. Our character's the bad guy. He's a professional villain. The outcome of everything isn't them getting arrested or anything. He fucking kills the bad guy because he's evil, which was cool. But it's classic detective shit, and I sort of dig those shows. So
yeah. I mean, from the get, we've got just it's a mystery thriller. The lead character is Sherlock Holmes' ancient villain Moriarty. So you've already got an interesting some sub story there if you know anything about the Sherlock Holmes universe. And then instead of it just being a standard one where at the end of the show or the end of each one the detective wins out, this is just going to be Moriarty murdering and doing villainous shit to people because that's what he is. He's not a good person. He is a bad person, and you're kind of introduced to him oh, this might be a good guy, but it kind of leads into this whole Moriarty as a character, if you know him from Sherlock Holmes, is a very he's a very social and a very smart and very well liked individual by people who know him, but he's a very dark and twisted individual who doesn't and that's sort of the character. And so this anime has decided to just sort of flesh out a young Moriarty, which is not. I'm not mad about it. That's the best. As someone who likes the universe and the mythos of Sherlock Holmes, I'm kind of interested to see this take on it. It's a different take, and I liked the first episode actually. Thought it was really sharp, sharply written and sharply animated. So I was pretty impressed by it. I saw this as a. What do you think, David? That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah.
I mean, I liked it. I honestly have not seen any of the modern Sherlock Holmes movies or Sherlock TV series or anything related to Sherlock Holmes. So this is my, I guess, introduction to the world of Sherlock Holmes.
Well, have you seen the Robert Downey Jr. movies?
No, I haven't seen any of them.
Damn it!
I know. I need to.
Yeah.
I've heard that they're pretty good movies, but the show itself for what it is, I enjoyed. I like mysteries, and so this will probably be my mystery fix for sure. And I'm excited to see because I obviously know of Sherlock Holmes. I know of Watson, of John Watson.
Yeah.
So seeing those characters eventually being introduced will be really hype. It will be very interesting. I kind of liked how. Even though he does kill the person in the end of the first episode, spoilers.
Yeah. Surprise.
He kills the person that originally was doing his own crime.
Yep.
So it's in a way, it's kind of deserved justice.
He's
kind of.
What's the word? What Batman? He's like a vigilante, right? He's
exactly.
Serving up justice his own way.
Yeah, exactly.
Anti-hero
type of character.
Anti-hero, yeah. So it's you realize that he's a bad person because he's still killing someone, but you see him he's not just killing anybody, he's killing people that are also doing fucked up shit. So it's kind of I see the show kind of building the viewer up to kind of relate to and kind of like the character in a way.
I expect us as audience members to love Moriarty despite him being a fucked up person, like Lelouch or Light. Those are fucked up heroes, but everybody likes them, you know.
Right? Yeah, we're like along with them like their entire ride, so we kind of like see all their highs and lows. So, but yeah, I enjoyed the show. It's definitely, I would say, my top half of the 13 shows we watched.
Yeah,
it is
for sure.
It's definitely in the upper half.
Yep.
I'm trying to remember. Okay, yeah, and yeah, I think that was. It's really straightforward. It's a mystery. It's a thriller. It's fun. It's a period piece. If you like any of that, you're probably gonna like this show. It is well written, so I think it had a lot of finesse to it. It had a lot of really clean shots. So if you like something that's just a little cleaner and something that maybe is a little more mature, this is up your alley as well. It's gonna be a little more mature, which is nice because some of these shows were not, like Iwa-Kakeru, which is just titties on walls. No, but. For sure.
It's not just titties on walls.
I think we can vote this one right through.
Yeah.
I'm going to vote it a thumb up from me, boys. What do you guys think?
I'm going to watch it.
I'm going to keep up with Moriarty. I think it's one of the ones I like the most from this bunch, and I would like to see the next episode just to see where we get to go with Moriarty and his little... he's got like his own Watson in some ways, like his little guy with his little butler.
It seems like there are going to be some more guys. Or it's his younger brother.
It's his brother, yeah.
His like companion. Okay, great. Man, we are blazing right through. So we just got a couple shows left. We've got 5 shows left actually, in about 30 minutes. So we're doing pretty good. Okay, so the next show is a series called Tonikawa, and this is available on Crunchyroll exclusively, simulcasted.
Crunchyroll exclusive.
So Kenny, what is going on in Tonikawa?
Tonikawa is about this kid named NASA who is trying to get into a good high school, I guess. But then he sees a girl, falls in love, walks across the street, gets hit by a car. And it's a bit of like this is a rom-com anime, very obviously. And he says, so after he gets hit by the car and almost dies, he chases her down while bleeding. And then once again is almost about to pass out while she tries to get an ambulance. And finally he gets it together and says, listen, I want to be with you. And she says, okay, you just have to marry me. And he says, okay, absolutely. And then passes out and then doesn't see her again until after he graduates high school. Even though he has good grades in the beginning scene, we see that he has been doing very well. And he says, what does he say? I'm going to go faster than light speed. I'm going to get to light speed faster than NASA.
Yeah.
And then they get married. She comes back, they get married, and this is a rom-com, and it's going to be cute and fun, I bet. Episode 2 is already out, and I wanted to watch it, but I was waiting. Yep. I wasn't watching any episode 2s.
I did not wait.
David watched every episode 2 available.
I'm a piece of shit. What can I say? I saw it. I was like, I might as well watch it.
He's a, eat. No, yeah, Tonikawa surprised me a little bit. The thing that surprised me most about the show was the dialogue. I didn't expect it to be so natural. I thought it was going to be a little bit more forced. It actually felt really nice and genuinely was interesting. The plot is not... It's almost like too absurd to be real, which I like that level. I like things to be just a little bit above reality, right? Like a little bit of elevated reality. You know, he clearly was not going to get hit by a bus, stumble around covered in blood, and then pass out. Clearly, how the fuck did this girl find him 5 years later after not talking to him? Like, you know, like there's all these elements of this that was like, it's like elevated reality, you know, it's like things that really can't happen, but it's just slightly above that. And that made it slightly more interesting to me. And like I said, the dialogue just felt so well written that I was, it felt natural and it felt comfortable. Sometimes with rom-coms or comedy shows, the dialogue is going to feel forced. And I was laughing. I found myself laughing. I found myself enjoying the animation. It looks really clean. They kind of have this underlying theme of like, I already think she might be an alien because they keep talking about how he's NASA and she's, you know, these like moon references. So I'm like, is she a fucking alien? That was my first thought. Like,
Princess Kaguya shit.
Yeah, Princess Kaguya and the moon. I was like, oh my god. So I think there's a lot of really quirky stuff going on here that actually is interesting to me. Compared to the other, you know, since we watched Adachi and Shimamura, also kind of has that romance aspect. To me, this was the superior show. I think that I liked Tonikawa a lot more. I think that it had a lot more going for it in the romance sort of genre of the shows that were coming out. So if you're looking for romance this season, I think it's probably a better choice to go with. But David, what do you think?
Honestly, I think its comedy is stronger than its romance.
Yeah.
There were parts where I was legit laughing, just at certain like dialogue or just like certain just like action sequences that they have at the show. The physicality of the main character is very, very funny. Just seeing his reactions to certain things. And I've cheated. I've watched, I think when I watched episode 1, episode 2 is out as well. So I watched episode 2. And I won't say anything more than it gets funnier. Nice. So I thought the episode 1 was really funny. And as I'm watching, other episodes, it's still keeping that level of comedy.
That's good.
So I think more than anything, what's keeping me invested in the show is just the dialogue, the comedic interactions between NASA and I can't remember the girl's name, but the other girl,
Kaguya. No, I'm just...
Kaguya, yeah,
Space girl.
And it's like he is so. It's funny because So you learn his parents named him NASA because I can't remember the exact reason why. They thought it was cool or something. I can't remember the exact reason.
Right, NASA named after but the kanji for stars in the sky.
Yeah. Right, and so you see that he's made fun of for some reason because it looks funny.
Who the hell makes
fun
of him, man?
No, I thought that was a cool ass name.
Yeah, I was like,
it's funny that the kanji for I guess not the kanji, but like the romanization NASA means like to the stars, or it's like stars, whatever, referencing stars, and then like in America we have NASA. Mm-hmm. So which they also make that connection in the show. So you see like he's made fun of and he like puts it on himself. It's like, you know what, I'm gonna show everyone that I'm smart as fuck, and he just like studies his butt off. He, it's pretty inspirational. And then but then like Kenny said, he sees that girl.
Fucking women, okay? God damn it.
It's like he gets hit by the car. He gets hit by the car, and then he's like, he fucks his life up for the next 5 years, and then he gets married in his tiny ass apartment, dude. This dude's life is just fucked by a woman.
It's really funny too, because right before that scene, which I mean, it's kind of foreshadowing, his teacher's like, why, you're only going to apply to this one school? Like, don't you need a backup? Like, what if you don't know what's going to happen to you in the future? He's like, I'm going to apply to this one school and I'm going to get in because I'm NASA.
I'm NASA.
And then he walks out of the school and sees his girl, and it's just very funny. I think paced really well.
Yeah.
The punchline of the jokes like hit all the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so, yeah, I think this is definitely for me. Its comedy is so much stronger than its romance.
Absolutely.
There is a little bit of romance, but the comedy is like,
and I expect the romance focus to be a part of it. It's a rom-com, like Kenny said. I mean, I think it's going to be a comedy.
It is definitely, there are romantic aspects, there's comedic aspects. I mean, yeah, for sure.
It can make me cry at the end. I feel like this is the type of show that, if done right, the last episode is going to hit different. You know what I mean? Like, you're going to get to the end, like, aw,
It was cute whenever she was like saying his name. She was like, it's going to be my name now, and shit like that. And the little plant was cute.
Yes. Okay.
And then whenever he grabbed her hand, it was like, I can have this forever for the rest of my life. Like,
I love that.
That was cute. Yeah.
Okay. It gave me like flashbacks to My Love Story, where there would be like multiple scenes where he's like, I love her, or like, I'm so in love with her. Yeah. We kind of see those kind of similar reactions in NASA and throughout the show. So. Okay.
Tonikawa boys, where's your thumb at? I'm going to go side thumb.
Straight up.
I'm going to go side thumb for this one.
All right.
I'm not you guys are going to watch it. I know. I'm not really a rom-com guy. I'll probably watch 2 or 3 more episodes. I think it's probably going to land that I am going to watch it all the way through, as opposed to some of the others where I'll probably drop on my side thumbs. This one I could see myself finishing it just because it's just that funny and just easy enough to watch. But it's definitely not something I'm going to like make a priority. So that's where I'm at on that. Okay. Oh my God, we're getting into some shit now here at the bottom, boys. Oh my God.
What? We have like good shows left.
No, we do not, dude.
Here it comes, Kitty. Here it comes.
We have 4 shows left, and 3 of those 4 I hated a lot. So only one of those 4 I liked. So this is gonna be
Jujutsu Kaisen.
A rough 20 minutes of time. So the first show is I'm Standing on a Million Lives, exclusively on Crunchyroll streaming. It's called I'm Standing on a Million Lives. Kenneth, what is I'm Standing on a Million Lives about?
So,
no, we don't even need it. It's an isekai. It's a fucking isekai.
This is an isekai. Here's something that kind of pisses me off.
It's a bad isekai.
The first 2 episodes are 1 chapter. It's just the first chapter in the first 2 episodes.
Wow.
So, I read this one already. I think like 46 chapters are out. I'm caught up. It gets a little more interesting as it goes, but I like isekais. They're sent to another world. They have a task that they have to complete in a certain amount of time. Otherwise, they die. But then they go back to their world and then get another party member and then get sent back and get a new quest and a new amount of time. And in between each quest, there's like a certain time period skipped. I think the first one is like 15 years and 17 years. Mild spoilers for later in the show. And they're all working towards, they're working to get like, I don't know, like build up their power or something. And then like something will happen in Tokyo. It's an isekai. They're fighting some monsters and leveling up. They don't have any cheat skills, which is kind of cool. Their main cheat skill is that they can die over and over. So like the main character often just like is like, you go run and hide, and I'll just run at this guy and die over and over until I can kill it.
I did not like this show.
But the catch is they respawn in 30 seconds, but if their entire party dies, then they die in real life.
They die, yeah.
They die in real life.
Jerry, tell me how much you love this show.
I hated this show, guys. I can't even believe I sat through 20 minutes of it. The characters are unbearable. The voice acting was bad. It looks like it was animated by a 12-year-old. There's nothing interesting about this show. It does everything every other isekai has already done. I guess the main character has a fucking kink for killing things in the other world. I don't know what the fuck that was. That made me feel weird. He got dragged in by two other people who were already there. These girls or whatever, and he doesn't do well around girls. Just like every other fucking main character in these stupid ass shows. The monster designs are shit. The whole world looks like it was designed by
those goblins look weird as fuck.
Yeah, bro, I kind of like the Frieza Form 3 goblins.
The opening was fucking annoying. The ending was annoying. From the moment I started this show to the moment the episode ended, I did not want to be watching it. It didn't make me want to do anything but turn it off. I will never watch another episode of this show in my life, honestly. I would rather watch season 2 of Log Horizon than to watch another episode of I'm Standing on a Million Lives.
Oh my God.
I would rather watch. That's how absolutely generic cookie cutter. This show did nothing to make me think in the first episode that there's anything of value in this show. And maybe 4 episodes in, suddenly something happens, and I'm just going to have to miss out on that. That's just not, I'm not meant to watch that, unfortunately. It just didn't do anything. Yeah, this show just, I don't know where someone out there needs to stop these isekai guys from writing anymore. Like, someone just needs to slap the shit out of them and be like, quit. Just stop writing these. They have become a jumbled mess, and this one just felt like the pinnacle of it.
We didn't even pick the shitty isekai. There's a shitty isekai that's out.
And that makes me feel terrible knowing that there's a worse isekai that we could have picked. I picked the better of the two. I meant to just pick one isekai, and that's what we only did have to watch one isekai out of this 13, and this was it. Kind of. I mean, yeah, it's technically the only one. So yeah, I just didn't like it. I didn't like it at all. I mean, if I had to rank these shows, this was the worst experience for me. This show was the absolute bottom of the barrel for me. This is the worst of the 13 shows for me.
Isekai hater, bro.
I hated this show. I could never watch this ever again. So I don't know what else to say. I thought the animation looked like fucking, it was scratchy the whole time. There was not a clean shot of action or animation in the whole show. And that fucking faceless thing was like 3D animated by like, it looked like he made it in that old program we used in like computers class in middle school. Like, it looks like someone made that shit in like, I don't know, the
fucking Alice.
Yeah, Alice, dude.
Alice.
It looks like it was made in Alice, dude. I don't even know what to say.
Oh,
like that
God.
dude looked like I can't believe it was this bad. That's all I can say.
Yeah, this show for me was definitely the bottom half. Definitely worst 3. If I have a best 3 and a worst 3, this is part of my worst 3.
Mm-hmm.
I think my least liked thing was the CGI like human that has like half his head gone. I'm assuming he's the game master in this anime.
Whatever that. Yeah.
He shortens his words. That's a weird quirk.
That annoyed me so fucking much. I was like, that's a stupid quirk. Like
game
that
master.
that's not like a original, or maybe not original, but it's not like cool or unique in any way. It's just like a stupid like thing to add on to this this random character. I think my favorite part of the show is when he rolled and got Farmer. I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
Beside that, I mean, it's just basic isekai. It's hard because I don't know if I enjoyed the first episode more than I enjoyed than how I felt about Log Horizon. It's real tough because both are shitty isekais.
Yep.
But I mean, I can't say this is shitty yet. I could just say that this first episode was pretty shitty. I don't know if the entire series is going to be shitty. It might get better.
When he looked away like this, and he was like, "I love killing goblins." I was like, "I can't watch this."
that was weird as fuck. That was
also the characters are younger than normal. Like usually you get a freshman in high school, but these are
middle schoolers.
Yeah, middle school seniors.
Yeah.
Like 13, 14?
Yeah, they're supposed to be young. Yeah, guys, I don't know if we need to talk about this one anymore. Can we rate it?
I'll give a little bit more.
Okay.
So we're introduced to 3 characters. There's 2 chicks and a guy. The guy's the main character. The guy seems like a typical, like, I wouldn't say hermit, but he's just boring as fuck. He doesn't really have any like special qualities to him. He just seems like a normal ass guy. And
he plays video games or something, right? Isn't that implied?
Yeah, he plays. Yeah, he plays video games, and apparently he's bad at them because he neglects his party members in the games. He just lets them die, which is kind of like a connection to a scene later in the episode. And then our other 2 female characters that are part of this party they go to the same school as him, and one of the girls is like, she's popular, she's like a model, and the other girl has like an illness or something that's wrong with her.
Yeah.
And so they're thrown into this world, and we see them, they have to do these missions to get out. And I honestly was watching it, and I was like, I don't care about any of this. And I don't know if it's just because of like the bad rep that isekais have. Because I'm not a huge isekai lover either. I don't hate them as much as Jerry does, but when I see an isekai, I'm like, it kind of has to wow me for me to be involved, and this did not wow me at all. So,
yeah,
that's it.
It's an isekai. If you like isekai, I might watch more of it. I've read all the manga, so I'm like,
David's like almost at a middle thumb.
I may keep watching it, but.
This is like the closest to bottom thumb, but like
I will never put this show on my television ever again.
I'm also like of the vein, like I started it, so I have to finish it just to see what happens.
God damn it, David. So I guess tell me if it gets better for some reason. Okay, guys, we're wrapping it up with our last 3 shows.
I can already tell you.
The next show also I don't think is going to take us long to talk about because I think we probably all really liked it. This is Jujutsu Kaisen. It's the newest offering from the Weekly Shonen Jump magazine, exclusively on Crunchyroll this season with Jujutsu Kaisen. And if you like shonen, I will tell you now, this is right up your alley. They did a lot of stuff right in the show. So, Kenny, what's Jujutsu Kaisen about?
Jujutsu Kaisen, we follow the life of Itadori Yuji, and his grandpa's in the hospital, and so he's not really involved in sports, even though he's very athletic. It shows in the first episode that he's unbearably athletic, basically. And then on his school grounds, a old cursed object of the demon sorcerer Sukuna, one of his fingers were sealed there. And him, because he's a part of a cultural club, so that he can visit his grandfather at the hospital, what is it? The spirit or the
paranormal activity?
The
occult. Yeah, the occult society. They decide, and there's a guy who comes to his school who is there to retrieve this cursed object, Fushiguro. And it turns out that they unseal it, and then tons of demons come, Shikon Jewel style, to try and eat it to become more powerful. But Yuji is like, fuck it. I can save his friends in this club. He's like, I can save them by eating this finger. And so he eats the damn finger. And it's a 1 in a million or 1 in 1,000 or some shit.
Yeah, the guy says some.
It's like 1 in a million, odds.
For you to adhere to Sukuna and become his host. And then he gets some spirit powers and blasts the things away. And he does this because earlier in the episode, spoilers, his grandpa passes. And his one wish is to, whenever you die, be surrounded by your friends.
Yep.
Unlike me. And so that's sort of it. That's Jujutsu Kaisen.
And
that's what we get in the first episode, at least.
And Kitty, you've read the manga, so don't spoil nothing right now. But to me, what this show does is it does blend a lot of elements, and I'm sure both of y'all know this, of older shonens. I mean, you get aspects of Bleach in there. You get I mean, he looks like fucking Yusuke demon mode when he eats that finger, to be up front.
Yeah.
He the tattoos on his body and his shirt rips off. Like, I was like, what the fuck? Even and the setup feels so Bleach like in that like the lead character has some sort of connection to the occult. Essentially, an exciting incident happens that forces someone of the occult society to show up and then have to fight a bad guy. The occult member is hurt or people are put in harm's way, and the lead character chooses to sacrifice self to potentially have power, and then it works and he wins out. That's literally like, if you put the first episode of Bleach and the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen right next to each other, there are like almost some uncanny similarities. Except for at the end of the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, at the end of the first episode of Bleach, Ichigo is clearly like the ultimate good guy. He becomes a Soul Reaper, which is the intent is to destroy hollows, and he's clearly gonna have to become a better hero. At the end of the first episode of Jujutsu Kaisen, he's possessed by a demon, and you're like, oh shit.
He's possessed by the strongest demon, Sukuna.
You're like, oh shit. So you get that similar plotting, but then all of a sudden it gets flipped on its head a little bit at the end because your lead is now possessed by the strongest evil being, which gives me a little bit, if you guys ever heard of a series called Ushio and Tora, kind of has a similar premise where an evil demon is sort of possessing or being aided by a normal guy. There's some similarities there, some overlap there. It reminds me of Naraho no Maga, which happened to be a shonen series. Like I said, it's got some elements of Yu Yu Hakusho, a little bit of sket dance, a little bit, some comedy elements like that remind me of it, where they're in a club. All of that feels really influenced, but it still feels fresh. And I think that's where Jujutsu Kaisen, it had to succeed. If it was going to use all these elements of other shonen series, it had to do something that made us like the characters. It had to do something, because the way you succeed in shonen is you can do the same story with new characters. To me, that's what you have to do. That's what My Hero Academia did. That's what Demon Slayer does. It's the same shit that they always do in shonen, but it's these characters that are new and fresh and feel special and unique to the worlds that they're being placed into. And boom, you've got that with your main character here. He feels awesome. His ability to mend for others, care for others while still being strong. He's a little bashful. He's actually he's not as naive as a traditional main character. He seems a little bit more smart, a little more intelligent, a little bit more forthright. And he seems a little bit more emotionally intelligent, which I liked. I don't like I do like, your Luffy's, your Goku's, they're not very emotionally intelligent. They don't really know how to interact with other people. This character does seem to be in tune with the way his friends feel and the way his family feels. Very cool shift in that characterization. And my God, Mappa, guys. The animation.
Mappa don't miss.
Yo,
Mappa don't miss.
Mappa has been swinging hundreds for the last 2 years, 3 years. They have been swinging hundreds, and this is no different. It looks great. This show looked so good, so stylish. So, the way they use the darkness to just fill in spaces and coloring, just really pretty. The characters
opening?
Oh!
Also, we forgot to mention Tonikawa's opening is my opinion, best opening of the 13.
We'll touch on opening at the very end. Tonikawa was actually my favorite opening too, David.
Yeah, I love Tonikawa's opening is the best.
It's a banger. Jujutsu might be my second favorite though. It definitely has
Jujutsu Kaisen's opening's really good.
Has that classic shonen upbeat. Just to get you hype about a shonen anime. Really good opening. David, what do you think? Jujutsu. Me and Kenny have kind of touched. What's your thoughts?
this is going to be the next big ass show that's hitting the anime world.
Well, yeah.
This I'm calling now. This is going to be the next, at least in the anime world. This is going to be the next big popular show.
Mm-hmm.
You got, like you said, Jerry. You got your classic. This is the basic shonen equation to the T, and it does it correctly. Does a great job of it.
Mm-hmm.
The first episode has like our basic shonen setup.
Mm-hmm.
We're introduced to our character. We're seeing we see their motivations and what drives them. So like right off the bat, we can kind of expect, you know, what kind of character this is going to be throughout the entire show.
Mm-hmm.
And so we kind of got a glimpse of it in this first episode, but this show is going to be hella action packed. This show will have fights that are going to be amazing. I haven't read the manga. I've only seen the first 2 episodes. So
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch that one like tomorrow morning because I've been waiting for us to do this.
But yeah, I just have a feeling that this show is going to have and within the first episode, even we're kind of we kind of get like a glimpse of the types of combat and battles that this series will have. And so I'm hella excited to watch the rest of this series and just see where it goes from here. But I'm calling it now. This is, I think, going to be the anime of the season.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Yeah, I think
I could definitely see it.
And what's cool about it is Jujutsu's kind of going unmatched this season. We watch 13 shows. There's not really another show in its genre or in its category right now. You know, we don't have any continuing shonens. Jujutsu Kaisen's pretty much going to get air for a whole season without any competition. I mean, Demon Slayer's movie comes out this season, right?
Yeah, it might already be out.
Fire Force is still airing.
Fire Force is still on, but Fire Force. My Hero's not on right now. Dr. Stone's not out right now. Food Wars and Haikyuu both ended. Like all your other shonen shows are on hiatus. One Piece, Oda's down right now. I mean, One Piece is going to keep going the anime wise, but you know what I'm saying? Like right now, Jujutsu Kaisen has a lane, and if it not and with Mappa behind it, dude. As long as the story is as good as people have told me it is from the manga, then Jujutsu Kaisen is about to have its moment. I think from now until January, this is Jujutsu Kaisen's time to shine. We're going to get the first really good arc of the show, and I think it's going to have a lot of hype behind it. It is the perfect mix of what American and what Japanese audiences like in their shonen anime. I keep saying, Black Clover is still on, and I keep saying Black Clover needs to do something because Black Clover never got to claim the spotlight. And I hate to say it, but Jujutsu Kaisen is about to take the spotlight from Black Clover. Like, I thought maybe this was going to finally be Black Clover's moment, but I hate to say it, Jujutsu's about to I think it's about to roundhouse kick Black Clover. I mean, I don't want to be that guy, but like, it's just Black Clover has not done anything to claim its place as a top tier anime. Promised Neverland doesn't even come back till next semester or next season. My Hero comes back next season. There's a lot of time next season, but Jujutsu has the fall as a clear runway to success. So I think David's right. Let's see where it goes. It's going to be a blast along the way, guys.
And just to, in the manga, the demons and the all of that shit is so cool and well drawn and so like gory and like it's like a mix between gory and disgusting and like creepy. And also cool because, then we get Yuji punching the shit out of it. And you're like, oh, like, fuck, oh, shit. And like Jerry said, there are a lot of very cool characters.
Yes.
There's some of my favorite characters that I don't know if we're going to meet this season, which sucks. But I would love if we get that far. I don't know if we will. We may or may not. It depends how quickly this sort of season goes, but I don't think so. But yeah.
Well, yeah. Obviously, thumbs up for me. I'm watching this show. I think this is probably my favorite show of the season, arguably behind Akudama Drive. I think that Jujutsu might be the top. But I'm torn. I think both are going to be interesting.
Yeah, they're both really good.
But I think that's where those are kind of my top 2 shows for this season. All right, guys, 2 more shows. We are right at about 2 hours of record time, which is great. So we'll wrap up these last 2, and we won't do a Shonen Anime Unraveled tonight. We're going to give you a break after this long. We've had a long night, don't you think?
You're right.
So we'll wrap it up after these last 2
We're rapid
shows.
firing.
And I definitely, because I also want to take a brief second after we get through all of them to talk about openings and endings, and I want to talk about what are your top 3 and what are your bottom 3. So we'll do that really quick after we wrap this up. So last 2 shows. I don't even want to talk about this one either. Noblesse. It's a webtoon. It's Crunchyroll original. Crunchyroll themselves are producing it. Yada, yada, yada. You watched God of High School. You watched Tower of God. Now there's Noblesse, the 3rd show of the webtoons trifecta, as people are calling it. Yeah. I don't know what the fuck this was.
So to do the story, I don't know if I properly understand it. There are like some X-Men guys that have some powers, I guess, but your main guys are in a high school, and I think the main character, like maybe, like David said, maybe he's a vampire.
Maybe.
And I would assume possibly that he's a knight. And so this is Vampire Knight. Vampire Knight is the best show
that
has ever been created.
He did it, boys!
There's only one show that exists, and it's Vampire Knight.
We didn't think about it all night. We almost made a whole episode about Vampire Knight. Oh my god.
No.
I have my friend Zero here. He's going to join us for the rest of the podcast.
I genuinely, I don't know the story. I think that Crunchyroll knows that everybody watches 3 episodes to get a gauge, and so like they didn't fucking put any information in these episodes, in this first episode at least. And so I'm just like confused. There's like a guy that's strong because he's an experiment, and then like it's like Adam and Eve or something, and then there are some like special ops guys and our main guy, and then the principal is named Franken, which I guess is Frankenstein, and I don't know. I was confused.
Honestly,
this episode was confusing to me.
This show feels like there was an attempt to make something, and they were like, all right, how do we fit in 900 chapters of this shit in 12 episodes? And someone's like, all right, chop all this exposition, get rid of this. They don't need to know this shit about it. Animate this small scene of them fighting a thug in a parking lot. Janitor's important. And then
The janitor got more lines than the main character.
Yeah, I was so confused.
Yeah, he did.
I was like, this show is...
That janitor was the star of episode 1.
This show feels like a rushed attempt at adapting something. And it really, really showed... The opening actually like hurt my ears. Like I didn't want to listen to it. The voice acting was okay. It actually was not even... There were some shots of animation that felt really nice. That felt clean.
Yeah.
But it felt pretty stale other than that, which was surprising because God of High School and Tower of God were both really nice beginning to end. But this show, it seems like a lot of production value went into some of the scenes, and other scenes were just left on the cutting floor. Like they just... Again, it felt like a rush job. It felt like the scripting was really, really bad. Like they lifted random-ass lines out of the manga, the webtoon, the manhwa. They just ripped random-ass lines and just dropped them in the show. I think you have to be a super fan of the webtoon to enjoy this series at all, to be honest. I think this is not a very, like, entry-friendly type of webtoon. I don't think you're going to be able to watch this first episode and go, yeah, I really like that, without having any knowledge of the series outside of it, because it was incredibly confusing. It was poorly scripted, poorly plotted. We don't know shit about any of these characters. And like, the janitor said, what the fuck? I don't know.
It was a lot of people in rooms talking to each other.
They didn't build a world for us. They didn't build a narrative for us. They didn't do a damn thing in this first episode. And I am just very disappointed. It just felt like an absolute hodgepodge mess. I don't know. David?
I think the show is trying to do, like, you know, when certain movies or series or whatever kind of like just resume their natural like life, and you as a viewer, you're just thrown in. So,
in media res. What's the term?
In media res, yeah. So like kind of that. So I feel like me watching it, I felt like I was just thrown into a universe and nothing was really explained, really, of what was happening. We see in the opening cinematic of these superhumans that we later find out are like successful experiments. They're like on this mission, they're fucking killing people, and they succeed, and then they're going to Japan, and then we cut over to Japan, And then we see this guy, I think his name is Rai, and I think he says 2 sentences in the entire, 23 minutes of the show.
Yeah.
And
Something like
most
that.
of the screen time is on the students that are at the school that he also goes to that are friends with him, but we don't know how they're friends because they ask him questions and he just looks at them and then they like have their own conversation with themselves.
Yes.
And I was like, what? That's not. If I asked a question
so
to somebody,
weird.
I'd be like, hello, or like, it was just not natural. I was like, this is weird. And a guy, one of the failed experiments is a like a security guard.
Yeah, he like works at the school.
He's on the run.
He can grow long fingernails and he can scratch people, but he can't do it because then he'll get caught because he's a failed experiment. So yeah, I just feel like I was just thrown in the middle of like a story, and I was very confused. And the story wasn't interesting enough for me to want to play catch up.
Yeah.
So I was just like, whatever.
Yeah.
I don't really care.
Yeah.
Yeah. Alyssa told me she read the first webtoon, the first 2 chapters of the webtoon, and she said none of the first 2 chapters were in the first episode at all. So they just have jumped so far into the show, pretty much chopping out a majority of the exposition that occurs in the beginning.
Well, I feel justified in my explanation.
Yeah, no, I think that's exactly what happened to us. Is like, yeah, this show it's a hodgepodge mess, and it feels like the only people that are going to enjoy it are fans of the webtoon. And I hope that fans of the webtoon do enjoy it because they finally are maybe getting some of their favorite scenes like animated. And you're lucky some of the animation was good. It's just not all good, unfortunately. So I don't know, guys.
Yeah, I think because I might be mistaken, but I think the Tower of God fan base was pretty pissed the adaptation.
They felt the same way.
Yeah, so maybe this is only the first episode, so maybe maybe Crunchy fixes their adaptation plan, but maybe this might go the same way that Tower of God was, where the adaptation was poor.
They're gonna adapt 60 chapters in 12 episodes or some shit like that.
And God of High School was similar. They were rushing so much.
Yeah.
And so much of what made God of High School cool in the webtoon is that it's a vast majority of it is just them fighting. Like, just give me cool fights. And God of High School did give me cool fights. I fucking like the anime.
Yeah, of the 3 webtoons, God of High School is clearly the one to me that has stood out.
And not for its story or plot, but because of its like action and art.
Yeah, badass. Yeah.
Okay, boys. Yeah, Noblesse, that's a thumbs down from Jer. It's a thumbs down. I won't watch this one. I'm not going to make myself watch another webtoon after Tower of God violated me. And then God of High School. I roughed through God of High School, and Tower of God violated me to the end. I can't watch another one of these. I can't. So
I'm curious to see where it goes.
Yeah, there's so many questions.
Yeah, like I have so many questions. I went through episode 4 of God of High School, and I haven't seen it since. I was going to wait till the series, the first season ended, which I think
we're on Kenny 9 or 10 or something.
Yeah,
we're almost done with the first season.
Oh yeah, it's almost done. Yeah,
no, it's over. But Kenny and I have only watched up to like episode 9 or 10.
Oh, okay, yeah. And obviously we did an episode of Tower of God, and we shared our opinion of that show in that episode. So yeah, so the trend isn't looking good for Noblesse. No, basically,
no. They need to adapt the real webtoon that we've all been waiting for. Scoob and Shag. We need an anime version of Scoob and Shag.
Ballyhoo.
I need Scoob's Ballyhoo. I need his fucking Ballyhoo, damn it.
For all you isekai nerds, obviously Solo Leveling is out there. Hopefully that one gets animated.
Kenny
I really
has
like
some real ones.
JoJo.
I really like this you would not like Solo Leveling, Jerry.
I know I would.
There's one manhwa called The Last Human that I really like. It's like a zombie post-apocalyptic
It's a manhwa,
one.
it's not a webtoon?
I believe it's just a manhwa, yeah. But it's a really cool one.
The best webtoon is Scoob and Shag, damn it. Ballyhoo.
Ballyhoo.
Okay, we got one show left, boys. Let's
so for our time. Real quick for our viewers out there, there is a manhwa. It might be a webtoon, and it is about a boy who he experiences real life, but in the form of a video game, and he levels up. If anyone out there knows the name of that manhwa / webtoon,
I told you. That's it. It's
what's it called?
Solo Leveling. Or are you talking? You're talking about The Gamer. The gamer is what you're talking
about. You know
about.
what? If you're listening, still leave a comment on your favorite webtoon, favorite manhwa,
favorite webtoon,
or any of the favorite shows that we talked about today. Just show us some love.
Okay, boys.
Interact with us.
Last show on the list, and another one that I just I hated it.
Kenny's right. It's called The Game.
It's called The Game.
No, you didn't.
I hated
No, you
this
didn't.
show.
You loved it.
The last show is called Our Last Crusade. And Kenny, tell us what Our Last Crusade's about.
So Our Last Crusade is actually a big exposition one. It's about, so there are these two warring factions, the Empire, who are set out to crush these star spirit wielders who have special magic powers that sort of run wild, I guess. And there's a lot of discrimination in the Empire. And so the Empire is trying to totally snuff out the Star Spirit organization, and the Star Spirits want to end the war and not necessarily snuff out the Empire, but stop all discrimination against their people. And so then we're introduced to our main character, Isuka,
Kirito,
who is he's a, what do they call them? Saint in the manga.
Scholars or Saint Scholars?
Dual-wielding sword guy.
In the manga, they're called archbishops, I think. The 13 archbishops for the Empire, which are like their strongest characters. But and then opposite him is Alice Louise Nebulous.
Big titty
Alice
anime
Louise. And so they meet and they fight, and then turns out they meet again, and they'll continue to meet, obviously. And each of them both want an end to the war, but through different means, and that's sort of the main driving point. But
Romeo and Juliet, but ass.
Yeah, let me just tell you right now. One, the animation is not great. Two, they change a lot of the character designs from what I saw. Like, I know this is a visual novel, so I guess they got the designs from there, but the manga is just so much better. Let me just say it right out.
The anime looks so poorly drawn. The characters look so ugly.
Do not watch this anime. Read the manga. The manga is much better. The manga is like awesome. Like I don't understand. I don't like it. It didn't make sense to me because it's so like, I don't know, cute and well drawn in the manga, and it looks like shit in the anime. And so like it pissed me off because this is one that I read fairly, like, whenever it comes out, and
yeah, it's
pretty disappointing.
If Noblesse is what happens when you don't have enough exposition, and Akudama Drive is the perfect amount of exposition, Our Last Crusade is what happens when you overexpose. You do too much exposition. It becomes impossible to follow. The story becomes cluttered with terms and concepts that we don't have explained to us, and then the characters become hodgepodge messes of what they were supposed to be. Everyone's supposed to almost be archetypes that don't really play out in any way, shape, or form in the first episode. We get over-introduced to characters. And then on top of that, the art is actually just bad. Like,
it looks
just
so
looks bad. Like, it's tough to look at. It did not look good, and that made me... I hated it. And then the fatal moment. They're in the big battle in the end of the first episode. Alice versus Kirito. I don't know what the normal guy's name. Alice, he looked like Kirito. They drew him like Kirito.
He does. I told Kenny earlier. I was like, "Is this sword art?"
And he doesn't look like Kirito in the manga. Like, he is
stupid.
He doesn't. I'm reading it right now. He does not look like the animation was.
They fucked it up in the anime. So they're having their big battle, and then all of a sudden they realize, wait a second, our goals are aligned. And then she trips on a fucking rock, falls into his hands, and he's like, "Whoops, I caught you." And she's like, and I was like, what the fuck is happening? And
it was a complete 180. I was like, what?
Did they go to the theater? What's happening? What world are we in?
They cut a lot of shit out there.
He's fresh out of jail. City. He was in jail. What is this show? The whole time
so Kenny,
I was like, why am I watching this?
Wait, so Kenny, the end of that interaction that they had to the theater scene, is there like a huge gap that they skipped in the manga?
Somewhat. So He's given a free ticket by his captain.
Both the manga and the anime are both based off the light novel, technically, right?
Yeah.
So there's interpretations of the same source material.
Correct. There are tons of so these two empires are at war, but they're not the only cities and places on the continent. And so the place that they meet up is a neutral zone. It's a neutral city that isn't a part of the war. And that's very much laid out in the manga. And like I don't know, man. Like
I'm sorry, guys, I hated it.
Just read the manga. Just read the manga. Like the manga is just so much better.
I'm reading it right now, and I'm honestly enjoying this more than the anime.
Yeah, Jin looks like looks like shit in the anime. Like he's cool in the manga.
There were maybe some underlying concepts that actually were interesting to me. I just think this adaptation was poor, and I think it was poorly done. So I won't be watching any more of it.
I agree.
Our Last Crusade is a big thumbs down from Jer. What do y'all think?
This is my only one tonight.
All dropping Our Last Crusade right out the gate.
I read the manga. Like I don't want to watch shit that I don't want to watch something that I've already read, and it's not good.
Right.
Man, it's so crazy that this looks nothing like
the two of us.
Yeah, that's it.
Shit, the three of us. I was saying the two of you and me. The three of us watched 13 new anime series and have given our first impressions on these shows. So first, I want to hear from David and Kenny. What were your top three of the week, and what were your bottom three of the week? You can say as little or as much as you'd like about why or what you picked. What were your top three, and what are your bottom three? David.
Okay, my top three: Jujutsu Kaisen, Akudama Drive, and I said it earlier. Ikebukuro. Ikebukuro Westgate Park are my top three. My bottom three are Our Last Crusade, Adachi and Shimamura, and I am Standing on a Million Lives.
Yeah.
The Isekai?
Yes, I'm Standing on a Million Lives. Those three.
Yep. Kenny. David, do you have anything you want to say about those? Wait, before we move on. Or
no, that's it.
You said your piece.
I've said everything. Yeah.
My top three: Akudama Drive. Obviously, the style, the animation, everything about Akudama Drive is awesome, and it seems built for anime. If that makes sense. Jujutsu Kaisen. Love the manga. Read it every week. Animations looks great. It's fucking awesome. And I don't know. I think like I just sort of was meh about a lot of these shows. Like maybe I don't even want to say Iwa-Kakeru is in my like. I don't know if I have a third one that I would rank in my top.
You gave some resounding thumbs up, Kenny. What are you talking? You gave a lot of their shows thumbs up, so there's got to be one other.
Iwa-Kakeru is what I gave thumbs up. That was the only one.
That's my number 4.
Oh my God.
I would probably say out of these, I would probably say Dragon Quest was the other one in my top 3. I think it was just really well done, really well animated. The story's not, it's not supposed to be some crazy story, but it's just really fun, a really fun shonen.
Yeah.
Bottom 3, Our Last Crusade. God, I really like the manga. That's what I cannot get across.
But it's
one
of the worst shows we watched, Kenny. You gotta admit, dude.
It is probably the worst show we watched.
Yeah.
Noblesse, I don't understand the story. I literally am just confused. I got done with it and I was like, I don't know. Like I couldn't form an opinion because it was so confusing. And then I don't know. Another because I like Isekai. I like Standing on a Million Lives. Maybe Hypnosis, Mike, because it's just not my. I don't like idol shows.
Right.
They're not my cup of tea. I just sort of watched it and got done with it.
Cool.
And that was really sort of it,
And let me round it out for you guys. My top 2 were clearly Akudama Drive and Jujutsu Kaisen. So yes, somehow not somehow. We obviously the three of us have pretty similar anime opinions. Just different.
I feel like it's pretty
experience.
And those ones were the most well done.
Akudama Drive and Jujutsu Kaisen. I mean, those are the 2 studs of the season. Like if you look at everything, I think even looking at the shows that are coming back, there are a couple shows that are getting new seasons right now. I don't remember what all it is. And there's obviously Yashahime, which is a continuation of Inuyasha. I think that most likely Akudama Drive and Jujutsu Kaisen are the 2 studs of this season. I mean,
just when it boils right down to it, those are your two shows that everyone should be watching if you're an anime fan. Akudama Drive is doing something unique, original, and looks beautiful. Jujutsu Kaisen is an adaptation of a Shonen Jump series done by a very, very impressive studio, and it's a very popular Shonen Jump series. It's been going very strong in the manga. So you've got two great shows coming out right there. My third show, though, I've got to just barely give it to Moriarty the Patriot. Just barely.
Oh, no.
I like mystery thrillers. I've always felt pretty comfortable around them, and I feel like this show, I responded well to it while watching it. It might be a close between that one and Tonikawa. Like, Tonikawa might have been.
Oh, shit. I forgot about that one. I want to change mine. Take Dragon Quest out.
Tonikawa is your third.
Yeah, I really like Tonikawa.
For me, Tonikawa might have been a close. It might have been a close. It's like a close fourth behind Moriarty.
Yeah.
And then my bottom three guys. Okay, so Noblesse is like the third. So like the third from the bottom is Noblesse.
Okay.
And then it's Our Last Crusade. And guys, I hate it. I'm standing on a million lives so fucking much that it's below Our Last Crusade.
What?
That's
hated
crazy.
that show so much. Okay, at least Our Last Crusade, I tried to. There were some narrative things that I think in a different setting I might have enjoyed. I don't think you can take. You know what I mean? Like in the manga or in the light novel, I might have enjoyed Our Last Crusade. There's something there that might actually be interesting. I'm Standing on a Million Lives is a piece of literature that I will never figure out why it exists. That is like, I don't know what its purpose is. And so I can't enjoy it. I can't figure out how to enjoy it. It is the worst show we watched, in my opinion. Jesus Christ. Like, just thinking about having to watch another episode of that makes my head hurt. Like, I won't watch any more of that. I definitely won't be watching Noblesse or Our Last Crusade ever again either, because I also didn't like those shows, like, at all. And honestly, over half this list, I'm dropping in a heartbeat. I may only stick with those top four that I talked about. I don't know if I'll stick with anything else. I might give some of the other ones, like Talentless Nana and Ikebukuro, a second or third episode, but we'll see how that goes. Yeah, guys, holy shit, we just blazed through this, and we're a little over our normal time, but that's fine. This is a special episode. We're wrapping up now.
Special episode.
We have to talk about openings and endings because we love opening and ending.
Yes.
Which one of the shows didn't have an opening or didn't have an ending, and it played the opening at the end? I think it was Our Last Crusade that did that shit. Where it's like, I think it didn't have an opening at the beginning, but it played the opening at the end of the first episode.
Yeah.
But
Talentless Nana did that too.
Oh, okay.
Right? It didn't play the opening till the very end because the opening is like spoilers for the first episode, which makes sense.
You're right. It didn't. You're right. Yes.
And Jujutsu Kaisen didn't play their ending.
And I think that Jujutsu Kaisen actually has the best ending this season.
Oh, I'll have to watch it.
It's on episode 2.
It's on episode 2.
It's really
one of the
good.
best ones.
That's fire. Okay,
Yeah.
that's sick. Okay, cool. That's exciting. So yeah, where do we? I mean, to me, the best intros were Hypnosis Mike, Jujutsu Kaisen, and Tonikawa. Like those were my three favorite. Honestly,
I
liked
really
all three of those.
I would say that my favorite ones were Akudama Drive and Ikebukuro Westgate Park. Both of those openings were really, I liked those ones a lot. And the Chainsaw Man ending was fucking awesome. And Hypnosis Mike's ending was really cool.
Yeah,
I liked that one.
Mm-hmm.
David, where were you at? Where were your top three openings there?
I think the easy ones are, I think Jujutsu Kaisen and Tonikawa's are easily two of the best. I'm trying to remember.
I remember you said you liked Ikebukuro a lot too.
Yeah, I did like Ikebukuro's opening. I can't for some reason when I watched it, because I watched Ikebukuro's episode twice, because the first time I wasn't really paying attention. The second time I was actually paying attention.
Right.
For some reason I thought the opening was like 3 minutes long or something, but when I timed it, it was only like a minute and a half or whatever.
You were high, David. No.
I mean I probably was. No. But I did like Ikebukuro's opening. I liked Iwakawa's opening.
Iwa-Kakeru.
Iwa-Kakeru's opening.
Movie girls, yeah.
It's like kind of cute. It's kind of has like a theme of like puzzles and stuff. It's pretty cute.
Yeah, there was.
I like their ending song too. Although the ending song like scenes are like kind of weird.
Yeah,
because
they're like touching
grabbing each other's
titties.
Yeah. So I was like, that's okay. But
is this about rock climbing or is this about rock climbing?
Jesus Christ. But I did like Iwa-Kakeru's ending and opening. So yeah, I mean, right now those are the openings and endings that come to mind.
Yeah,
And I think that it's crazy that we liked Akudama Drive and Jujutsu Kaisen's openings, and surprise, 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 we liked the shows as well. We love on this podcast talking about how it almost is like an indicator of how much you're going to enjoy a show when the opening is a banger. Like, if the opening's a banger, you already like going into it on a high. Like, you're like, oh baby, oh baby. Oh, I also gotta say the ending song on Burn the Witch was amazing.
Oh yes,
guys!
Really,
oh,
I was so excited for opening ending
like,
Yeah, please.
My heart was beating when it showed my girl Noelle in those little PJs. I was like, oh, I was like, I love this. Really great season of opening and endings. And also just gotta say, across the board, I was actually surprised. I think usually when I think if you were to usually take a sample of 13 shows from any season, a majority of those shows would actually be pretty low budget. But I think that overall, somehow these 13 shows all felt pretty mid to high budget shows. Like, they felt pretty well animated.
Our Last Crusade, low budget.
Except for Our Last Crusade. I'm Sitting on a Million Lives, pretty low budget as well. But there was a pretty good showing of some impressive animation styles and studios that I think show how the quality of TV anime is slowly rising with the times. Like, there was a time in the mid 2000s to early 2000s where most TV anime looked bad. Like, if you were to go back and watch it, it looked bad. And that's just the way it was. We all just accepted, like, that's just, because it was that early age of computer animation, right? It was that transition between hand-drawn animation to computer animation. And the early age of computer animation looked nasty. And we finally hit a point, I think, where modern computer animation, which is how most 2D animation is done now, looks nice. It really looks clean. It looks sharp. It looks very, very nice. It's a really good feeling. And this felt really good, like a good season and a good representation of that. So I really do have to mention that as well. I hope everyone gets out there and at least tries one of these shows. Come on, guys. Jujutsu Kaisen and Akudama Drive, go watch those. The fuck's wrong with you? Turn this off, go watch those shows. You're going to like them. Those shows are going to be great. But yeah, boys, any closing thoughts on our 13 shows, or we feel good about it?
No,
I think for me it was super fun to just kind of rapid fire through a bunch of different animes to get a little flavor of what's to come.
Yeah, change
throughout the season, for sure.
Good change of pace. Kenny, so as we wrap up, Kenny, tell us what we've got going on this week. Announcing with this episode, what have we got going on, Kenny?
I am giving this book away. This is the best Shonen Jump manga running currently. Nobody can tell me otherwise. Chainsaw Man is the shit. And so, no more excuses. You're going to read it. So, if you like, comment, and subscribe to this YouTube channel right now, this episode, and if you follow us on Instagram, I will send you this copy of this book right here.
We'll do like a raffle.
Yep.
Like we'll do like a cutoff date.
For specific instructions, you need to look down below into the video description. Like Kenny said, you're gonna have to like, comment, subscribe. But we'll tell you exactly what you need to comment and by what date you need to comment by in order to be entered into the giveaway. And we'll be announcing either on our next episode or the episode after the winner of our first volume of Chainsaw Man. Okay, guys. So if he cut out right as he was holding it up. But yes, you're gonna see the official rules in the video description, and we'll be posting onto our Instagram, which is at the Uncensored Anime Podcast. You should go follow us over there. We'll be posting the official rules over there as well, so that as many people as possible can enter to win the first volume of Chainsaw Man. We're really excited to be doing our first giveaway, and we hope this maybe brings some attention over here to our podcast, but then also just gives us an opportunity to help someone out there read this manga, because we all really like it. I think David's read it now.
It's so good. Okay, yeah, I'm like on chapter like 30 something right now.
It is certainly the next Shonen Jump anime we all need to be thinking about. So thanks to Kenny for providing our prize today. And we really hope that the winner enjoys getting the first volume of Chainsaw Man. Okay, boys. I think that's it. Let's wrap this puppy up. We are not going to do an Unravel today just because we took a long time to go over all these new anime series. We hope you go and check out one of the new shows. And like usual, you should like, comment, subscribe, do whatever you like. Me and the boys here, we are trying to share our unfiltered ideas and thoughts on anime here on this podcast, and that's what we love doing. We really enjoy it. We love sharing it with you guys. And for those of you who watch and who have listened to our last couple episodes, we're definitely going to be changing direction a little bit, maybe for the next couple episodes. But be on the lookout. So we'll be announcing what shows. We don't have shows for next week picked, but just be on the lookout. We might let you guys know a little early before the next episode drops what you might need to prep yourself with to see. So if you don't follow us over on Instagram, that's where we post all the stuff that we're going to be watching each week. So you can keep up with us. But we might have a couple more special guests on in the future. I hope you enjoyed our last week's episode with Alyssa. And we've got some other special guests potentially planned to be coming on the show and talk some anime with us boys. Because we love talking to each other, but we also love talking with our friends about anime as well. So we might have a couple more people on some different episodes to talk about some shows. Or to maybe just talk about anime in general, because that's something I want to get into as well. So I hope you guys enjoyed this week's episode. And I'm wishing you all well. David, Kenny, you guys ready to go?
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's do it. Peace.